Hi, this is Naomi with Sword and Steel, and today we are going to go through the Codex for Drukhari for Warhammer 40,000 9th edition. This was given to me by Games Workshop to go through and enjoy. Drukhari. They are prey takers, the blade masters and the flesh crafters. They are the scheming, self-serving raiders of a galaxy fit to fulfill their haunted pleasures. These torturers and enslavers feed a sickening soul hunger with the pain and fear of others. They hunt on moonless nights and crawl from pools of shadow, all to feast on anguish. And pray you are worthless enough to be ignored. Pray you will see the dawn's light with intact eyes. Pray they don't take you alive. Alright. That wonderful thing out of the way. Oh my gosh. Oh, versus Tau. Twilight Raiders. So we're going to go through, there's a lot of background to the Drukhari, once called Dark Eldar. Rise of Power, Commorraghs, Kabals, Witch cults, Haemonculus Covens. So these will go over the various miniatures that you could use in the game. Cabal of the Black Heart. Cabals uncounted. And all the lore besides. There is so much lore in here. Cult of Strife. Excellence embodies. Oh, Lilith. Lilith Hesperax. Most famous female Eldar Drukhari. Cults of the Hectorari. Warzone Coven. Ooh, even places. Cool. Wow. That's cool. Cool art. The Prophets of Flesh. Exemplars of Excruciation. Urine Rakarth. Ooh, you can get him as a model too. The Canvas Galactic. Filty's Price. I wonder if you'll get a new model of Uriels at some point. Drazar has a new model. Ara, the Fallen Phoenix. A Sinister Spectacle. So we're going to be able to see all the... And it looks like there are 8 different main colors of the Kabals. Here. And there will be a history behind each one if you want to choose your theme based on their backgrounds. Archons, Haemonculi, Succubi. Witches, sporting an exotic variety of individual fashions. Oh, there she is. Lilith. Oh, Kronos. Kronos and Talos. Some very creepy units. So creepy in this this army. Though I've got to say, I very much enjoy the look of all their ships. These look awesome. Oh, look at that army. Oh my gosh. The rules. Battleforge rules. This just tells you where we're gonna head. Combat Patrol. The Drukhari Combat Patrol. I imagine we'll be seeing that soon in a box. I assume that means that they'll have it available for a while, I'd like to think. Cool. Detachment abilities. All right, rules. A Drukhari detachment is one of the only a Drukhari detachment is one that only includes models with the Drukhari keyword. Drukhari detachments gain the raiding forces and weakling kin abilities. If your army is battle forged, each Drukhari detachment in your army must be designated as a Cabal detachment, Wych Cult detachment, Haemonculus Coven detachment, or Real Space Raid detachment. Your army can only include one Real Space Raid detachment. Real Space Raid detachments gain the Real Space Raid ability. Troop units in Drukhari detachments gain the Objective Secured ability. This ability is described in the Warhammer 40k. If you are fairly new to 40k, it means that Drukhari detachments for troops take priority for objectives over anything that doesn't have the Objective Secured ability. So basically, troops win objectives, and anything that is not a troop will have to fight off these troops before it can gain that objectives. Objectives are important in Warhammer 40,000. Raiding forces. If every detachment in your army is a Drukhari patrol detachment, change the command point of those detachments to 0 command points. Cool. All Cabal units in a Cabal detachment gain a Drukhari obsession. See page 53. All Wych Cult units in a Wych Cult detachment gain a Drukhari obsession. See page 53. All Haemonculus Coven units in Haemonculus Coven detachment gain a Drukhari obsession. See page 53. I think page 53 is going to be important, I guess. Weakling kin. Okay, so it says Drukhari detachments gain the raiding forces and weakling kin abilities. Weakling kin. You cannot include Drukhari and non-Drukhari aeldari units in the same detachment unless all those units have the aeldari keyword. I am not surprised. Alright, Real Space Raid. If a Real Space Raid detachment contains one Archon unit that is your Warlord, one Succubus unit and one Haemonculus unit, and at least one Kabalite Warriors unit, at least one Witches unit, and at least one Rax unit, all units, excluding Blades for Hire units, unless otherwise specified, in that detachment gain a Drukhari obsession. Cool. As well as gaining Drukhari obsessions for each Cabal, Wych Cult, and Haemonculus Coven unit in a Real Space Raid detachment, see page 53, you can also select the associated Cabal, Wych Cult, and Haemonculus Coven relics for the units in that detachment, even though your Warlord is not from a Wych Cult or Haemonculus Coven. All units in a Real Space Raid detachment gain the Real Space Raider keyword, and you can replace your Warlord's Overlord ability with the following ability. Says you can if you wish. Raid Mastermind. While a friendly Real Space Raid core unit, generally troops, is within 6 inches of this model each time an attack is made by a model in that unit, reroll a hit roll of 1. Well, that's always nice. So this is a Warlord's Overlord ability can be replaced by this, so we'll keep in mind what we'll see. And see if it's worth it. Become a Real Space Raid. Ooh. Lords of Commorragh. Okay. It says, if your army is battle forged and includes any Drukhari detachments, excluding auxiliary support, super heavy auxiliary, or fortification network detachments, then when you muster your army, you can upgrade one of the following Drukhari characters, units excluding named characters from each detachment in your army: Archon, Succubus, Haemonculus. If the detachment is a Real Space Raid detachment, you can upgrade one Archon, one Succubus, and 1 Haemonculus from that detachment. You can upgrade 1, or if it's a real space raid detachment, you can upgrade 1 of each of them. Okay? Make a note on your army roster each time you upgrade a unit using these rules. Each upgraded unit also gains an additional keyword as described below. An upgraded Archon is a Master Archon. An upgraded Succubus is a Master Succubus. An upgraded Haemonculus is a Master Haemonculus. And the gains the... So the Archon gains the Kabalite Diversion. The Witch, or the Succubus gains the Witch Cult Spectacle. And the Haemonculus gains this Haemonculus Proclivity. Splinter Genus, Show Stealer, Alchemical Maestro. Okay, we'll get to that momentarily. Each time you upgrade one of the aforementioned units, its power rating is increased as shown in the table below. Plus 15 points, plus 15 points, or plus 20 points, and an increased power rating of 1. If you are playing a matched play game or a game that uses a points limit, then the points value of that unit is also increased by the amount shown on the table. Your army or crusade force cannot include more than 1 Master Archon from the same Cabal, more than 1 Master Succubus from the same Witch Cult, or more than 1 Master Haemonculus from the same Haemonculus Coven. A crusade force cannot start with an upgraded character. Okay. 15 points, 15 points, 20 points. Well, let's see if it's worth doing. What does the Splinter Genius do? Once per battle, at the end of the fight phase, if this model is within engagement range of any enemy units, it can fight again. Well, that seems pretty good. I'd probably do that for 15 points, yeah, sure. Relics and Warlord, you can give a Master Archon model with this Kabalite Diversion the Soul Helm Relic instead of giving them an Artifact of Cruelty Relic. And it says you can give it, okay. In addition, you can give them the Consummate Weapon Master Warlord trait instead of giving them another Warlord trait. And again, that's a can. Should you wish to use the Solheim, this bearer has the following abilities. Soul Helm. Following abilities. Each time an attack is made that targets the bearer, subtract 1 from that attack's hit roll. That's good. Each time the bearer would lose a wound, roll 1d6. On a 5+, that wound is not lost. That is also good. Yeah. That just seems good to me. I'm wondering what the relics you could possibly choose instead of this are, for sure. Warlord trait, Consummate Weapons Master. Add 1 to the damage characteristic of all melee weapons this Warlord is equipped with, excluding relics. Okay, cool. Seems nice. That's for the Master Archon. Now, if you have a Master Succubus, each time this model makes a consolidation move, it can move an additional 3 inches, and it does not have to finish this move closer to the closest enemy model. Oh my, okay. That could be quite dangerous. Relics and Warlord traits. You gain a Master Succubus model with this Witch Cult Spectacle. You can give a Master Succubus, in addition, you can give them that, okay. Same as the other one. You can give them these guys instead if you wish. A model equipped with an Archite Glaive only is this relic called Dancer's Edge. This relic replaces the Archite Glaive that they originally have. Dancer's Edge. It is melee. It has a +2 strength and AP -4 and 2 damage. That seems like a nice weapon. Oh, and it has an ability. Each time an attack is made with this weapon on an unmodified wound roll of 6, infernal save throws cannot... Oh, that's nasty. That's good. I'm sorry. Invulnerable save throws cannot be taken against that attack. That could be... With an... What? With an AP of -4 and you can't have an invuln save. Ah, laughing. That's super nasty. Well, it's only an unmodified wound roll of 6. So, could be super nasty. Warlord trait, Whirling Death. Each time this warlord fights, after any pile-in moves, until that fight is resolved, you can choose for its attacks characteristic to be equal to 3 plus the number of enemy models that are within 2 inches of it. Interesting. After any pile-in moves. Cool. Something to contemplate. Circumstantial, of course, but I guess that depends on... also depends on how many attacks you normally have. Cool. Someone will regret putting all of those grots around that one person. Haemonculus Proclivity, Alchemical Maestro. Once per battle, when this model is destroyed, are you going to come back? You can choose to roll 1d6 at the end of the phase instead of using any rules that triggered when this model is destroyed. If you do so, then on a 2+, yep, back it comes. Set this model back up on the battlefield as close as possible to where they were destroyed, but not within engagement range of any enemy models with D3 wounds remaining. Well, that's alright. As close as possible where they were destroyed, not necessarily so good, but not within engagement range, so you can move out of it, possibly, if you needed to, with D3 wounds remaining. Okay. Relics and Warlord Traits. You can give a Master Haemonculus model with this Haemonculus... Yes. Yeah, okay. Again, same as before. You can, and you can. Relic Poisoner's Ampule. Once per battle, at the end of your movement phase, the bearer can use this relic. If it does so, select one enemy unit within 9 inches of the bearer. Roll 1d6. On a 2+, that unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. On a 2+. Okay, once per battle though. At the end of your movement phase, bearer can use. If it does so, select one enemy within 9 inches. Roll 1d6. On a 2+, that unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. That seems a pretty free d3 mortal wounds. Unless you're just that person who's super unlucky. Until the start of your next turn, any aura abilities that unit has have no effect. Oh, that could mess up someone who relies on their stuff hitting based on their character's aura. Until the start of your next turn, that unit cannot be affected by aura abilities of friendly models. Cool. That could be nasty. Yeah, it's cool. Warlord trait, Twisted Animator. In your command phase, you can select one friendly Haemonculus Coven rack unit within 3 inches of this warlord. D3 destroyed models can be added back to the unit. These models can be set up within engagement range of enemy units that are already within engagement range of that unit. Well, that's nice. Select one within 3 inches of this warlord, so you have to keep a rack unit along with the Haemonculus. Cool. Seems good. In your command phase. Wow, you just keep doing that. Cool. Seems good. Seems good. Alright, what do we got? Favoured Retinues. Boop, doop, boop, boop. If your army includes a Master Archon, Master Succubus, or Master Haemonculus unit, you can also use the upgrades listed below. Is this page 53? No, this is 52. Okay. Each time you upgrade one of these units, its power rating is increased, as shown on the table below. Okay, so upgraded again. 2 points per model. Okay. If you are playing a match play game, or a game that uses a points limit, then the points value of that unit is also increased by the amount given. Make a note on your army roster each time you upgrade a unit using these rules. A Crusade force cannot start with upgraded units. Alright, Kabalite Trueborn. For each Master Archon in your army, one unit of Kabalite warriors in the same detachment can be upgraded to Kabalite Trueborn. Kabalite Trueborn have a maximum unit size of 10. Gain the Kabalite Trueborn keyword and have the following additional abilities. Models in that unit have a ballistic skill of characteristic of 2+. Perfect. Add 1 to the leadership characteristic of the models. Each time a model in this unit makes a range attack, you can ignore any or all hit, roll, and ballistic skill modifiers. Cool. That's nice. They can't make it harder for you to hit. Nice. Hecatrix Blood Brides. For each Master Succubus or Lilith Hesperax in your army, one unit of which... for each Master Succubus or Lilith Hesperax, you can have a Master Succubus and Lilith Hesperax and have 2 units of witches in the same detachment can be upgraded to Hecatrix Blood Brides. Hecatrix Blood Brides have a maximum unit of 10 and gain the Hecatrix Blood Brides keyword and have the following additional abilities, which are models in this unit have a weapon skill of 2+. Well, that's perfect. Add 1 to the leadership characteristic of models in this unit. Each time an attack made by a model in this unit would trigger the Blade Artist's ability. Page 89. We'll keep that in mind. The armor pen characteristic of that attack is increased by 3 instead of 1. Well, that's really nasty. Armor pen of 3. And each time an attack is made by a model that would trigger the Blade Artist's ability. Let's just scoot over there. 89. Blade Artists. Okay. A unit's data sheet will list all the abilities it has. Certain abilities that are common to many units are only referenced on the data sheets rather than described in full. These abilities are below. And that is Blade Artist. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack with a melee weapon on an unmodified wound roll of 6, improve the armor pen by 1. And in this case, for the really nasty ladies, by 3 instead. Okay. Haemocytes. Haemocytes, probably, I guess. Haemonculus, Haemocytes. For each Master Haemonculus or Urian Rekarth unit in your army, 1 unit of Rax in the same detachment can be upgraded to Haemocytes. So, up to 2, I guess. Haemocytes have a maximum unit size of 10 and gain the Haemocytes keyword and have the following additional abilities. Improve this unit's save characteristic and invuln save by 1 to a maximum of 4+. Add 1 to the leadership characteristic models in this unit. Once per phase, the first time a saving throw is failed for this unit, the damage characteristic of that attack is changed to 0. Interesting. Well, that's handy. Once per phase, the first time a saving throw is failed for this unit. Okay. Oh, I guess you should roll one of them separately. Nah. You could just count one of your fails as a success, I guess. Alright. Drukhari, Kabals, Cults, woo, and Covens. Units in a Drukhari, Cabal, Witch Cult, or Haemonculus Coven, or Real Space Raid detachment gain access to the following rules. Cabal, Witch Cult, or Haemonculus Coven obsessions. All Cabal, Witch Cult, and Haemonculus Coven units, including Urian Rekarth and Lilith Hesperax units, with this ability gain a Drukhari obsession. The obsession gain depends on which Cabal, Witch Cult, or Haemonculus Coven they are from, as shown on the following pages. If the KWH unit is from one of the KWH names in this section, you must use the specified obsession. You must use the specified Drukhari obsession. If you have created your KWH, you must instead use the rules in their appropriate section to create an obsession for them. Okay. KWH Warlord Traits. Each KWH has an associated KWH Warlord trait. If a KWH character model from one of the KWHs named in this section gains a Warlord trait, they can have the relevant KWH Warlord trait instead of a Warlord trait from pages 72 to 73. Note that named characters must have Warlord traits specified on page 72. Okay. KWH Stratagems. Each KWH has an associated stratagem. If your army includes a KW or H, excluding detachment, excluding auxiliary support detachments, from one of the KW or H's named in this section, or a real space raid detachment that includes units from the KWH, Covens named in this section, you can spend command points to use this stratagem in addition to those on pages 68 to 70. Okay. Sure. We're gonna get to them, I guess. Yeah. Alright. KWH Relics. Each KWH has an associated relic. If your army is led by a Cabal Warlord, a Witch Cult Warlord, or a Haemonculus Coven Warlord model from one of the KWHs named in this section, you can select this relic instead of those on pages 74 to 75. Okay, example, a Battleforged unit. A Battleforged army includes a real space raid detachment that includes an Archon from the Cabal of the Black Heart, a Succubus from the Cult of the Cursed Blade, and a Haemonculus from the Coven of 12. Every Cabal of the Black Heart unit in that detachment gains the Thirst for Power obsession. Every Cult of the Cursed Blade unit in that detachment gains the Strong Will Thrive obsession, and every Coven of 12 unit in that attachment gains the Butchers of Flesh obsession. Ew. Gotcha. Interesting. Because the Archon is the Warlord, they can be given the Labyrinthine Cunning Warlord trait. If you spend command points to use the Alliance of Agony or Tolerated Ambition stratagems, detachment Succubus and or Haemonculus could be given the Treacherous Deceiver and or the Scarlet Epicurean Warlord traits respectively. Because this detachment is a real space raid, you can spend command points to use the Agent's Effect stratagem because your Warlord is from the Cabal of the Black Heart. You can also use this. Is interesting. This is a lot of explanations. You can also use the Venomous Shard Bombs and a Most Inventive Demise stratagems because the detachment includes a Succubus and a Haemonculus from the Cult of the Cursed Blade and the Coven of the 12, respectively. Okay, so it's definitely like the Cabal, the Witch Cult, and the Haemonculus Coven are three separate things. They all work together, but they're three separate things. You have to make 3 different decisions. If I'm reading this correctly, because the Archon is the Warlord, one Cabal of the Black Heart character in the army can be given the Rite of the Living Muse relic. Because this detachment is a real space raid, you can instead, or in addition if you use the prizes from the Dark City stratagem, select a Coven of 12 character model to have the Flensing Blade relic, and or select a Cult of the Cursed Blade character model to have the Traitor's Embrace relic. Okay. Cabals. Yes, Cabal of the Black Heart. Cabal of the Poisoned Tongue. There's 8 of them, yeah? Cabal of the Flayed Skull. Cabal of the Obsidian Rose. Other Cabals with less important Witch cults, cults of Strife, cult of the Cursed Blade, cult of Red Grief, other cults, Haemonculus covens, the Prophets of Flesh, the Dark Creed, the Coven of 12, and other covens. And then they've got an example of what a real space raid could look like. Okay. Alright, Cabal of the Black Heart. Their obsession is a thirst for power. Units with this obsession that have the Power from Pain ability treat the current battle round as being one higher than it actually is when determining what effects they gain. Okay? So it has some sort of changing. The effects that they gain are going to be dependent on what round it is. Okay. If a real space raid detachment includes a Cabal of the Black Heart Archon, then until the end of the battle, all Blades for Hire units in that detachment that have the Power from Pain ability also treat the current battle round as being one higher than it actually is when determining the effects they gain. Sure. Add one to the leadership characteristic of models with this obsession. Okay. Wow, they're gonna get lots of. The special ones are gonna be like, oh, I don't care. I don't care if anyone dies around me. Not at all. Couldn't care less. Never liked them that much anyway. Each time a unit with this obsession is selected to shoot or fight, you can re-roll one hit roll when resolving that unit's attacks. Well, that's nice. Warlord Trait, Labyrinthine Cunning. While this Warlord is on the battlefield, each time you or your opponent spends any command points to use a stratagem, you can roll 1d6 for each command point spent. On a 6, you gain 1 command point. Cool. It's nifty in that it would also be like your opponent has to second guess whether they want you to get more command points or not. Mind games. Relic, Writ of the Living Muse. Rite of the Living Muse. Cabal of the Black Heart Archon model only. The bearer has the following ability, Rite of the Living Muse, Aura. While a friendly Cabal of the Black Heart core unit is within 6 inches of the bearer, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, reroll a wound roll of 1. Okay? If the bearer is a real space raider unit, this ability also affects Blade for Hire units. Cool. So, seems like you want to choose the real space raid if you can. Agents of Vect. For 0 command points, stratagem. Use this stratagem after your opponent uses a stratagem, okay, excluding command reroll. Until the end of the battle, the CP cost your opponent must pay to use that stratagem again is increased by 1. This stratagem can only be used once. Interesting. Okay. For 0 command points, like, why not? If you got it, you might as well use it. Cabal of the Poisoned Tongue. Their obsession is the Serpent's Kiss. One of his obsession is a thirst for power, and this one's obsession is the Serpent's Kiss. Toxic crafters of Cabal of the Poisoned Tongue tailor their venoms to the targets of a raid, ensuring they will have the most gruesome effect on the victim's physiologies. Okay. Each time a model with this obsession makes an attack with a poisoned weapon, improve the poison weapon ability of that weapon by 1 to a maximum of 2+. For example, poison weapon 4+ becomes poison weapon 3+. If an enemy unit has any models destroyed by an attack made with a poison weapon by a model with this obsession until the end of the turn, subtract 1 from combat attrition tests taken for that unit. Okay. Warlord Trait, Towering Arrogance. Each time this warlord would lose a wound as the result of a mortal wound, roll 1d6 on a 5+, that wound is not lost. This warlord has the following ability: Towering Arrogance aura. While a friendly Cabal of the Poisoned Tongue unit is within 6 inches of this warlord, each time a combat attrition test is taken for that unit, ignore any or all modifiers. Guess. The relic is Soulseeker, a Cabal of the Tongue Poison Archon model equipped with a splinter pistol only. This relic replaces a splinter pistol and has the following profile. Soulseeker is a 18-inch range pistol to 2 strength. Wow, that's super weak. AP -2, D3 damage, but it's a poison weapon of 2+. Each time you select a target for this weapon, you can ignore the Lookout Sir rule. Ooh, that's nasty. But it's 18 inches, still nasty. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, the target does not receive the benefits of cover against that attack. So you can take out characters if you wish. And their command point is Insidious Misdirection. Use this stratagem at the start of the first battle round. Select up to 3 Kabalite of the Poisoned Tongue units from their army and redeploy them. If the mission uses the Strategic Reserves rule, any of those units can be placed into Strategic Reserves without having to spend any additional command points, regardless of how many units are already in Strategic Reserves. If both players have abilities that redeploy units, roll off. The winner chooses who deploys their units first. Okay. Neat. Kabals of the Flayed Skull. Could be quite nasty, I suppose. First battle round, redeploy 3 units. Any 3 units. So you lay out your guys, and your opponent lays out their guys accordingly, and then you completely change where they were for 2 command points. Worth it. That could be quite the game changer at the very first round. That's nasty. Alright. Cabal of the Flayed Skull. Obsession is they like to slay from the skies. Each time a model with this obsession that can fly, or that is embarked upon a transport unit that can fly, makes a ranged attack, the target does not receive the benefit of light cover against that attack. And add 2 inches to the move characteristic of vehicle units with this obsession. The Warlord trait is Famed Savagery. Add 1 to the strength and attack characteristics. Nice. The relic is the Obsidian Veil. Cabal of the Flayed Skull Archon model only. The bearer has a 4+ invuln save. Nice. Their trait, stratagem, is Masters of the Shadowed Sky for 1 command point. Use this stratagem when you select a Cabal of the Flayed Skull unit from your army to shoot with. Until the end of the phase, each time that unit makes an attack that targets a unit that can fly, add 1 to the attack's hit roll. If the target is an aircraft unit, add 2 to the attack's hit roll instead. Cool. Sure. Cabal of the Obsidian Rose. Obsession, Flawless Workmanship. I could see that. Add 6 to the range characteristic of all assault, rapid fire, and heavy weapons. Nice. Excluding relics, models with this obsession are equipped with. Cool. That's nice. Each time a unit with this obsession is selected to shoot or fight, you can reroll 1 wound roll when making that unit's attacks. Okay. Warlord Trait, Deathly Perfectionist. Add 1 to the strength characteristic of weapons this warlord is equipped with, excluding relics. Okay. Relic, the Armor of Misery, Cabal of the Obsidian Rose Archon model only. The bearer has a save characteristic of 3+. What are Archons normally? Archon, what are you normally? 4+, okay. Each time a melee attack is made against the bearer, subtract 1 from that attack's hit roll. Good. Failure is not an option, one command point for their stratagem. Use the stratagem after combat attritions for a Cabal of the Obsidian Rose unit from your army after taking combat attrition tests, but before any of the models flee. You can shoot with each model that would flee. Ooh, for one command point, yeah. If it is within engagement range of any enemy units, each model that would flee can instead make one melee attack. If any enemy models are destroyed by these attacks, no models flee from this unit. Cool. Treat the morale test as having been passed. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. I don't know whether I would choose that one. Must let me know which ones you would like. Okay, and then there's other Cabals. If your chosen Cabal does not have associated Cabal obsession above, you must instead create their Cabal obsession by selecting 2 of the obsessions from the list below. An all-consuming obsession counts as 2 selections. All-consuming is this there, yeah. Alright, first is Dark Mirth. Units with this obsession have the following ability. Dark Mirth Aura. While it is within 12 inches of this unit, each time an enemy unit is selected to make a normal move, advance, fall back, or is selected to charge, roll 1d6 on a 5+, that enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. 5+. Within 12 inches. Units with this obsession, so that's just everyone. Yeah? That's pretty nasty. That could add up. Everyone gets it, yeah? All Cabal with this ability gain a Drukhari obsession. Units in a Drukhari Cabal, Witch Cult, Haemonculus, Coven, or Real Space Raid detachment gain access to the following rules. So, yeah, everyone. Just making sure. That could definitely add up. On a 5+, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound whilst within 12 inches. Not wholly within either, it's just within 12 inches. Each time is selected to make a normal move, advance, or fall back, or is selected to charge. It's not if they do it. It's when they are selected. Roll on a 1d6 on a 5+. The enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. That is nasty. Seems like it would really add up, I think. Deadly Deceivers, all-consuming, so you can only choose this one. Units with this obsession are eligible to shoot in a turn in which they fell back, but if they do so, then until the end of the turn, each time a model in that unit makes a ranged attack, subtract 1 from the attack's hit roll. Okay, that's pretty normal. It's good though. If that's the way you're playing it, it's good. Disdain for lesser beings. Each time a combat attrition test is taken for a unit with this obsession, add 1 to the combat attrition test. Sure. Merciless Razorkin. Each time a model with this obsession makes an attack with a splinter weapon, an unmodified hit roll of 6 scores 1 additional hit. Okay, sounds nice. Nice one to add in. Torturous Efficiency. Each time a model with this obsession makes an attack with a ranged weapon, an unmodified wound roll of 6, improve the armor pen characteristic of that attack by 1. Nice. Mobile Raiders. Oops, obsession. Why are these called obsessions? You're obsessed with dark mirth. You're obsessed with your disdain for lesser beings. You're obsessed with merciless Razorkin. You're obsessed to torture efficiently. Anyway, add 2 to the move characteristic of models with this obsession that can fly. Soulbound. Each time a model with this obsession would lose a wound as a result of a mortal wound roll 1d6 on a 5+, that wound is not lost. Toxin Crafters, all consuming. Each time a model with this obsession makes an attack with a poisoned weapon, on an unmodified hit roll of 6, change that attack's poison weapon to a poison weapon 2+. Cool. Each time a model with this obsession makes an attack with a poison weapon, reroll a wound roll of 1. So unmodified hit roll of 6 becomes a weapon 2+ each time. Well, let's just reiterate what poisoned weapon does in this edition. Many Drukhari weapons have the poison weapon ability. Such a weapon will have an ability that reads poison weapon and the value as such as 4+ or 2+ each time an attack is made with a poison weapon against a unit, excluding vehicle or titanic units. An unmodified wound roll of this value is always successful. That is nice. Toxin Crafters. Each time a model with this obsession makes an attack with a poison weapon, and the poison weapon is a 2+, so wound rolls succeed on a 2+. Each time a model with this obsession makes an attack with a poison weapon, you reroll a wound roll of 1. All consuming. I can see why you would only be able to choose that one. Cool. Seems good. You hit, and then you wound on a 2+, and you get to reroll wounds of 1. Yeah, got it. Cool. I can see why you're obsessed. Twisted Hunters. Each time a model with this obsession makes an attack against a character unit, add 1 to the attack's hit roll. Cool. Webway Raiders. Each time you use the Webway Portal Stratagem, page 69, if any units with this obsession are selected, reduce the command point cost of that stratagem by 1, which could be quite handy if you're using your webway a lot. Alright, that was the Cabals. Now, we're on to Witch Cults. Which Witch Cult are you going to choose? Witch Cult of Strife, perhaps? Their obsession is the spectacle of murder. At the start of the fight phase, if a unit with this obsession is within engagement range of any enemy units, it can fight first that phase. That's a powerful ability. That's nice. Each time you declare a charge for a unit with this obsession, if there are no other units from your army within engagement range of any of the enemy units selected as targets of that charge, add 1 to the charge roll. Neat. Warlord Trait, Blood Dancer. Each time this warlord makes an melee attack and an unmodified hit roll of 6 scores 2 additional hits. Nice. Relic, the File Bouquet. Cult of Strife Succubus model only. Roll 1d6 at the start of each battle round. Until the end of the battle round, the bearer gains the associated effect from the combat drugs ability table. Okay, this effect can be one that the bearer is already affected by and is cumulative. Let's just go back to combat drugs. 89. To remind us what the combat drugs do. Combat drugs. Units with this ability gain additional abilities depending on which combat drugs they are using during the battle. Before the battle, determine which additional abilities are granted to each unit from your army with the combat drugs ability. You can select one of the abilities from the table below. Alternatively, you can randomly determine 2 abilities by rolling 2d6 and looking up the result. If a double is rolled, roll both dice again until 2 different results are rolled. Combat drug effects must be noted on your army roster. Alright, so either 2 or 1 chosen. Adrenalite. Each time this unit fights, if it made a charge move or performed a heroic intervention this turn, then until that fight is resolved, add 1 to the attacks. That's nice. Grave Lotus. Add 1 to the strength. Hypex, add 2 to the move. Painbringer, add 1 to the toughness. Serpentin, improve the weapon skill characteristic of the models by 1. Nice. Splinter Mine, improve the ballistic skill and leadership characteristics of this model, of models in this unit by 1. Cool. I can see why people would like chance it for 2. It'd be really nice to have 1 strength and 1 weapon skill bonus. So you're saying that this relic, roll 1d6 at the start of each battle round. Until the end of the battle round, the bearer gains the associated effect. This effect can be one that the bearer is already affected by and is cumulative. That'd be cool. Cool. No method of death beyond our grasp. 2 command points. Use a stratagem at the end of your shooting phase or the fight phase. Select 1 Cult of Strife Witches. I like the fact that the command point that is relevant, the stratagem that is relevant to a particular cult is right there, instead of in the back, like it used to be. I like that. Use the stratagem at the end of your shooting phase or the fight phase. It means that for all the ones that anyone can do, I assume, these are not going to be there and you don't have to keep reading through them when they don't matter to you. I like that. Use this stratagem at the end of your shooting phase or the fight phase. Select 1 Cult of Strife Witches unit from your army. If it is the shooting phase, that unit can shoot again. If it is the fight phase, that unit is within engagement range of any enemy units, that unit can fight again. You can only use this stratagem once per battle round. Well, that's nice. Could really do a lot of damage. I mean, 2 command points, but you could really do a lot of damage. Cool. Cult of the Cursed Blade instead, perhaps. Their obsession is only the strong will thrive. Add 1 to the strength characteristic of models with this obsession. Each time you make an unmodified saving throw of 6 for a model with this obsession against a melee attack, after the attacking model's unit has finished making its attacks, that enemy unit suffers 1 more wound. Cool. Warlord Trait, Treacherous Deceiver. Each time you make an unmodified saving throw of 4+ for this Warlord against a melee attack, after the attacking model's unit has finished making its attacks, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. Each time you make an unmodified save throw of 4+, after the attacking model's unit has finished, it suffers 1 mortal wound each time. Cool. This Warlord does not benefit from the second part of the Cursed Blades only. This Warlord does not benefit from the second part of the Cursed Blades, only the strong will thrive obsession. Each time you make an unmodified save throw. Okay, yeah, sure. Relic, Traitor's Embrace. Traitor's Embrace. Sounds lovely. Cult of the Cursed Blade Succubus model only. If the bearer is destroyed by a melee attack, roll 1d6 on a 2+ after the attacking model's unit has finished making its attacks. It suffers d3 + 3 mortal wounds. Cool. You go in and kamikaze would be possible. Cool. Venomous Shard Bombs. 1 command point. Use this stratagem at the enemy after the enemy has declared a charge against a cult. Are you going to run away? Cult of the Cursed Blade Witches unit from your army. Probably not, your witches. That unit can fire Overwatch before the charge roll is made. Okay. Yeah. When it does so, up to 5 models in that unit that are equipped with plasma grenades can make attacks with them. Plasma grenades. Okay. And until the end of the phase, plasma grenades this unit is equipped with gain the poison weapon 2+ ability. Well, that seems pretty nasty. Wow. It'd be like, do I want to? Declare a charge against these witches. That's cool. Cult of Red Grief. Obsession, the speed of the kill. They really, really want to kill fast. Fierce competition amongst their ranks is who can butcher their victims the quickest. Okay. You can reroll charge rolls made for units with this obsession. Not surprised. Add 2 to advance rolls, of course. Cool. Warlord Trait. Hyper Swift Reflexes. Each time a melee attack is made against this warlord, an unmodified hit roll of 1 to 3 for the attack fails, irrespective of any abilities that the weapon or the model making the attack may have. Well, that's pretty cool. A relic, the Blood Glaive. Cult of the Red Grief Succubus model equipped with an Archite Glaive only. The relic replaces the Archite Glaive. Blood Glaive. Glaive. +2 to strength, AP -3, 3 damage. Good. It's alright. Athletic Aerialist, 1 command point. Use a stratagem after the Cult of the Red Grief infantry unit has resolved its close combat attacks, but before it makes a consolidation move. Instead of consolidating as normal, if every model from this unit is within 6 inches of a friendly transport, they can embark in that transport as if it were the movement phase, even if this unit has disembarked this turn, provided it has enough transport capacity remaining to embark the whole unit. That could be really handy. Very cool. Neat. Other cults. Okay, so I assume, like before, if you don't have a chosen cult with the cult obsession, you can create your own by grabbing 2 or 1 of the all-consuming ones. Yeah. If you don't want to go with the registered cults, you can create your own with your own symbol and your own color scheme and your own fantastic possible obsessions. For example, maybe you're obsessed with acrobatic display. It's just a funny thing to be obsessed with. I mean, I suppose gymnasts are obsessed with acrobatic display, but just... I missed him because I didn't want to mess up my landing. It wouldn't have looked as good. Each time a unit with this obsession consolidates or piles in, models in that unit can move horizontally through other models and terrain features. They cannot finish a move on top of another model or its base. Well, that is neat. They're flipping themselves over top places in an acrobatic display. Okay. The Art of Pain. While a unit with this obsession that has the Power from Pain ability is within engagement range of any enemy units, treat the current battle round as being 1 higher than when determining what effects the Power from Pain ability has. Okay. Yep, short. Berserk Fugue. All-consuming. Each time a model with this obsession makes a melee attack, if that model's unit made a charge move, was charged, or performed heroic intervention, an unmodified hit roll of 6 scores an additional hit. Okay. Each time a model with this obsession would lose a wound roll as a result of more wound, roll 1d6 on a 5+ that wound does not last. Well, that's cool. Unmodified hit rolls of 6 score an additional hit, and you have a 5+ mortal wound, feel no pain. Cool. Precise killers. Each time a model, you are obsessed with being precise at killing? Okay. Each time a model with this obsession makes a melee attack, that attack benefits from the Blade Artist's ability on an unmodified roll of 5+ instead of 6+. Blade Artist's Ability. What was that again? 5 plus instead of 6 plus? What was it again? I don't remember. Oh, 89. Blade Artist. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack with a melee weapon on an unmodified wound roll of 6, improve the armor penetration. Okay. Power from Pain. What's the other thing? Might as well read it. Alright. It's coming up. Power from Pain ability. This ability only applies if every unit in your army is a Drukhari or unaligned human. At the start of each battle round, this ability gains additional effects. These effects are cumulative. So, battleground number 1 or 2. Inured to Suffering. Models in this unit have a 6+ invuln. Okay, that's nice. 2+, Eager to Flay. This unit is eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which they advanced. Nasty. By turn 2 or turn 1. Wow. Oh, or turn 1. Ugh. Okay. Advance and charge. Cool. And when with that other one, well, I guess you Power from Pain. I wonder who has all the Power from Pain. But something to consider for sure. Flensing Fury. Each time a model in this unit makes a melee attack, add 1 to the attack's hit roll. 3. So round 3 or round 2. If this unit has the vehicle or monster keyword, it does not suffer the penalty incurred to its hit rolls for firing heavy weapons at enemy units that are within engagement range of it. Nasty. And 4+, Mantle of Agony. Models in this unit have a 5+ invuln save. Okay. It's gotten better. And 5+, Emboldened by Bloodshed. Each time a morale test is taken for this unit, it is automatically passed. Okay. If this unit's characteristics can change as it suffers damage, this unit is considered to have double the number of wounds remaining for purposes of determining what those characteristics are. Well, if you can bring this down a little bit, all of these down a little bit, that's nasty. Cool. And we might as well, because we read all the other ones. Insensible to Pain. Whoop. Sensible to Pain. Each time a model in this unit would lose a wound, roll 1d6 on a 5+. That wound is not lost. Seems to be a bunch of ways to not lose wounds. Insensible to Pain. Lots of feel no pain stuff going on. Alright, Precise Killers. Okay, yeah, that's where we're. Okay. Each time a model with this makes a melee attack, that attack benefits from Blade Artist's ability on an unmodified roll of 5+ instead of 6+. Okay. Slashing Impact. Each time a model with this obsession finishes a charge move, you can select one enemy unit, excluding vehicles, within engagement range and roll 1d6. On a 6, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. Cool. That's nice. It's always nice. On a 6. Oh, it's on a 6 though. I don't know whether you'd want to choose that. One enemy unit. Or the other options. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't, but we shall see. Stimulant Innovators. Once per battle, in your command phase, you can declare that unit with this obsession will use... You can declare that the units with this obsession will use their experimental concoctions. When you do so, roll 1d3 on the combat drugs table. Every unit with this obsession that has the combat drugs ability gains this additional ability, which is cumulative with any abilities they already have until the end of the turn. That could be cool. Once per battle. Well, just choose it once per battle. Until the end of turn. Okay. Could be very important. Test of Skill. Each time a model with this obsession, roll 1d3. Every unit that has... Yeah. Or it could said, depending on what you got. Test of skill. Each time a model with this obsession makes a melee attack that targets a monster or a vehicle, add 1 to the attack's wound roll. Okay. Trophy. Very specific. Maybe. I don't know. 1 to the attack's wound roll. But poisoned. Oh, poison weapons with 2+. Add 1 to the attack's wound roll means that you would always hit. Though poison doesn't affect vehicles, but it would affect monsters. So you could go for monsters with that. That could be nasty. Yeah, poison didn't affect vehicles, right? Pretty certain that's what I read. I mean, it doesn't affect vehicles and titans. Is that right? It would be weird if it did. Poison weapon, yeah, it doesn't attack that. So monsters. That would be nasty against monsters, I think. Trophy takers. Each time a morale test is taken for an enemy unit that has any models destroyed by a melee attack made by a unit with this obsession. Yep. Roll 1d6 and discard the lowest result. Roll 1 additional d6 and discard the lowest result. Cool. Agile Hunters. All-consuming, this one is. Each time a model with this obsession makes an attack that targets a unit that can fly, add 1 to the attack's hit roll. That could be nasty. If a unit with this obsession with the combat drugs ability has the Hypex ability, add 4 to that unit's move characteristic instead of 3 inches. Okay. I mean, it's alright. I think I would choose 2 of these for me. It doesn't seem like the all-consuming ones are quite for me. I would choose... Well, I guess it depends on what I have, but I like the choices. Now, the Haemonculus Covens. First, we have the Prophets of Flesh, and their obsession is to be connoisseurs of pain. At the start of your command phase, each character, grotesque, or monster unit with this obsession gains 1 last wound. Oh, nasty! Each character, grotesques, or monsters unit with this obsession gains 1 lost wound. Cool. Each time an attack made against a unit with this against a unit with this obsession, unless that attack has a strength characteristic of 8 or more, an unmodified wound roll of 1 to 3 for that attack fails, irrespective of any abilities that the weapon or the model make for the model. That's nasty. That's nasty. That's cool. Yep. Okay. Warlord trait, Diabolical Soothsayer. When this model is set up on the battlefield, choose one of the below. Until the end of the battle, add 1 to the Warlord's toughness and wounds characteristics. Until the end of the battle, add 1 to this Warlord's movement and attacks characteristic. Cool. Choose one of the below. Alright, that's nice. Nice Warlord trait. Relic, the Vexator Mask. Prophets of Flesh, Haemonculus model only. Enemy units cannot fire Overwatch at the bearer. At the start of the fight phase, you can select one enemy unit within 3 inches. That unit is not eligible to fight this phase until after all eligible units from your army have done so. Hold on. What it is at the start? You can. Oh, that is so nasty. All eligible units. That's nasty. Yep. I wonder what the other ones do. Sins. Right. Large. 1 command point or 2 command points. Use this stratagem at the start of the fight phase. Select one Prophets of Flesh infantry unit from your army that is within 6 inches of a friendly Prophets of Flesh Haemonculus unit. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack is made by this Prophets of Flesh infantry unit, you can reroll the hit roll. Nice! If the selected unit is a grotesque unit, this stratagem costs 2 command points. Otherwise, it costs 1 command point. Well, rerolling hit rolls is nice for 1 command point. And I guess if you have a really nasty grotesque unit, it'd be nice for 2 command points too. So good. The Dark Creed. You guys would be obsessed with fear. Distillers of fear. Units with this obsession have the following abilities. An aura of terror. While an enemy is within 6 inches of this unit with this obsession, subtract 1 from the leadership and subtract 1 from the combat attrition tests. Okay. Each time you make a melee attack for a unit with this obsession that targets a unit with a leadership characteristic that is equal to or lower than the attacking unit's leadership characteristic, add 1 to the attack's hit roll. Well, that's nice. Cool. Warlord trait, Fear Incarnate. At the end of your movement phase, you can select 1 enemy unit within 9 inches of this warlord and roll 3d6. If the result is greater than the enemy's unit's leadership ability, which it just probably would be, you've got a range of 3 to 18. Until the start of your next movement phase, that enemy unit cannot perform actions. What? At the start of your movement phase, you can select 1 enemy unit within 9 inches of this warlord and roll 3d6. If the result is greater than the enemy unit's leadership characteristic until the start of your next movement phase, that enemy unit cannot perform actions. If that unit is currently performing an action, it immediately fails, and it loses the objective secured ability. What? That's cool. That could really mess up his entire plans. Cool. 9 inches. Not wholly within, just within 9 inches. They are going to want to target that warlord. But maybe they can't. Neat. Spirit Sting. Relic. Dark Creed Haemonculus model equipped with a Stinger pistol. And you use this relic to replace the Stinger pistol. 12-inch range, pistol 3, 2 strength, AP -3, 1 damage. What is this 2 strength? What are you gonna do with that? Oh, are you poisoned? Poisoned. Okay, 2+. Yeah, alright. Strength doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Great. Poisoned 2+. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, invuln save throws cannot be taken against that attack. Perfect. That is nasty. That's a nasty weapon. An esoteric kill delivered from afar. 2 command points or 3 command points. Use the stratagem when you select a Dark Creed core or Dark Creed character unit from your army to shoot with. Until the end of the phase, each time you select a target for an attack made with this unit, you can ignore the Lookout Sir rule. Ooh. If the selected unit is a Talos unit, this stratagem costs 3 command points, otherwise it costs 2 command points. Okay. So, you can take out characters. That is cool. This Dark Creed one seems pretty nasty. On the other hand, regaining lost wounds. It's also really nasty. Failing attacks. Your opponent's failing attacks. It's also quite nasty. Oh my. Choices. Haemonculus, the Coven of the 12. So, obsession, they are butchers of flesh. Each time a model with this obsession makes an attack with a melee weapon excluding relics, improve the armor pen characteristic of that attack by 1. Cool. That could be that is very advantageous. If a unit with this obsession is performing an action, it can still make attacks with ranged weapon without that action failing. Cool. That's cool. Warlord Trait, Scarlet Epicurean. Each time an attack is allocated to this warlord, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic of that attack to a minimum of 1. That's nice. Relic, the Flensing Blade. A Coven of 12 homunculus model equipped with homunculus tools only. The relic replaces the tools to be strength is the user, AP is -2, and damage is D3, but is a poison weapon. So, a poison weapon 2+. Each time an attack made with this weapon targets a character unit, that attack has a damage characteristic of 3 instead of D3. Nice. A most inventive demise. 1 command point. Use this stratagem at a coven after a coven of 12 homunculus unit from your army consolidates. Select 1 character model. Select 1 enemy character model, excluding vehicle or monster models, that is within engagement range of that homunculus, and roll 1d6. On a 2 to 5, that model suffers D3 mortal wounds. On a 6, that model suffers D3 plus 3 mortal wounds. Hold on. For only 1 command point, you get D3 or D3 plus 3 mortal wounds with a small chance of not doing anything. Within engagement range of the homunculus. Super nasty. Cool. Now, what other possibilities are there then? Those seem pretty powerful. What else can you do? And as before, you choose 2 or you choose 1 of the all-consuming. Artists of the Flesh is all-consuming. Each time an attack is allocated to a model with this obsession excluding vehicle models, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic of that attack to a minimum of 1. That's good. Yep, it's good. I mean, I guess it depends on whether you're facing a bunch of guys that only have damage characteristics of 1. But if you're facing guys that have a lot of big shooting things, that's pretty awesome. Dark Harvest. Each time a unit with this obsession finishes a charge move, you can select 1 enemy unit, excluding vehicles, within engagement range, and roll 1d6. On a 4+, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. Each time you charge. Okay, that's cool. On a 4+. Maybe. Dark Technomancers, all-consuming. Each time a unit with this obsession is selected to shoot, you can choose to enhance any or all of the ranged weapon models in that unit are equipped with. You can choose to enhance the ranged models. If you do so, until the end of the phase, each time an attack is made with an enhanced weapon, add 1 to the attack's wound roll, and add 1 to the damage characteristic of that attack. But that attack's hit roll cannot be rerolled. Okay. If any unmodified hit rolls of 1 are made for attacks with an enhanced weapon, the bearer's unit suffers 1 mortal wound after shooting with this weapon. If the bearer is a vehicle or monster, it suffers D3 mortal wounds instead. Selected to shoot. You add 1 to the attack's wound roll and add 1 to the damage, and hit rolls of 1 suffer mortal wounds. Could be used, I guess. Could be useful. And hit rolls cannot be rerolls, so you can't avoid the mortal wounds. Could be useful, unless you're an unlucky person, in which case you'll be just killing off all of your own creatures. Experimental creations. Add 1 to the strength of models with this obsession. With all these poison weapons, how important is the strength, though? Well, I guess for anyone without the poison weapons, it'd be alright. Hungry for flesh. You can reroll charge rolls made for units with this obsession. That is slightly horrifying. That they're so hungry, they reroll charge rolls. That's terrible. Masters of Mutagens. Each time a model with this obsession makes a melee attack with a poison weapon, excluding relics, that targets a unit that is not a vehicle or titanic, an unmodified hit roll of 6 automatically wounds the target. Interesting way of putting it. Automatically wounds the target. I guess that's the short form of don't roll anymore. The attack sequence ends. That's what I'm going with. Master Torturers. Each time a unit with this obsession is selected or... Wait, no, that's not what it means. Unmodified hit roll. Oh, yes. Okay, I read it wrong. An unmodified hit roll of 6 automatically wounds, and then you go on to save rolls. Okay, got it. Cool. Poison weapon. Target unit. Yeah. Unmodified hit roll of 6 automatically wounds. So just even better poison. Got it. Master Torturers. Each time a unit with this obsession is selected for the Torturer's Craft stratagem, which we're going to see shortly, reduce the command cost by 1. Okay. What does it do that is so important? Torturer's Craft. Oh my goodness, lots of stratagems. Torturer's Craft. Reduce the command point cost of that stratagem by 1. Not to a minimum of 1 either, so it could be 0 command points or 1 command point now. And it says, use the stratagem in the fight phase when Urian Rakarth or a Haemonculus Coven unit from your army is selected to fight. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, you can reroll the wound roll. If the stratagem is used when a character or Rex unit that contains 10 or less models is selected to fight, it costs 1 command point. Otherwise, it costs 2 command points. Reroll the wound roll. Okay. Cool. Cool. Where? There. Master Torturers. Obsessive Collectors. Each time a unit is destroyed by a melee attack made by a unit with this obsession, a model in the attacking unit can regain D3 lost wounds. Each time an enemy unit is destroyed by a melee made by a unit with this... Okay, so you destroy an enemy unit, you gain D3 lost wounds. Nice. Each model that can only be healed once per turn... Each model can only be healed once per turn. If the attacking unit is a rack unit, D3 destroyed models can be added back to the unit. Nasty. This is not all-consuming either. You can have this with other things. These models can only be set up within engagement range of enemy units that are already within engagement range of this unit, and no longer count as having been destroyed for the purposes of morale tests this turn. These models can only be set up within engagement range of enemy units that are already within engagement range of this unit, and no longer count as having been destroyed for purposes of morale tests. Okay. Seems good. Seems quite nice. Enhanced sensory organs. Each time a model with this obsession makes an attack, the target does not receive the benefits of light cover or heavy cover against that attack. Okay? And splinter blades. Each time a model with this obsession makes an attack with a melee weapon, an unmodified hit roll of 6 scores 1 additional hit. Seems good. Seems alright. Oh, the possibilities. I don't know what I would choose. I do not know. This is an example to show Alex's strike force-sized Drukhari army organized into a single battalion detachment. Alex has designated this detachment as a real space raid. So an example of what a real space raid would look like, and that does seem to be a good way to go, is an Archon, a Succubus upgraded with the Show Stealer Witch Cult Spectacle, a Haemonculus, 2 units of 10 Kabalite Warriors, 1 unit of 10 Witches, upgraded to the Hecatrix Blood Brides, 1 unit of 15 Wrecks, 10 Incubi, 6 Reavers, 5 Hellions, 5 Scourges, 3 Talos, and 3 Raiders. That's big. Strike force size. Alright, stratagems. Stratagems can be a very important part of Warhammer 40k. Finding the stratagems that you want to use every game and not forgetting them can be very important. If your army includes any Drukhari detachments excluding auxiliary support, super heavy auxiliary, or fortification network detachments, you have access to these stratagems and can spend command points to use them. You've got those lovely command points for a reason. Figure out which ones would be handy for you and remember them. Put them on a nice little handy card, perhaps. Something to keep them in your mind, because they will quite possibly be very handy for you. For example, Cruel Deception. 1 command point or 2. Use this stratagem in your movement phase when a Drukhari unit from your army falls back. If you like falling back, contemplate this one. You can select for this unit to be eligible to shoot this turn or eligible to declare a charge this turn, or both. If you select both, it costs 2. Otherwise, it costs 1. Or the Great Enemy, 1 command point. Use this stratagem in the fight phase when a Drukhari unit from your army is selected to fight. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes a melee against a Slaanesh unit, you can reroll the hit roll and you can reroll the wound roll. Okay, so they really don't like Slaanesh. And if you're facing Slaanesh, you can reroll the hit roll and reroll the wound roll for 1 command point. Cool. The Torturer's Craft, 1 command point or 2. We've already read that one earlier, so I'll get past that. Lightning fast reflex reactions, 1 command point. Use the stratagem in your opponent's shooting phase or the fight phase when a Drukhari infantry, Drukhari vehicle, or Drukhari biker unit from your army, excluding Urian Rakarth or Haemonculus Coven unit, is selected as the target of an attack. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack is made against that unit, subtract 1 from the attack's hit roll. Use the stratagem in your opponent's shooting phase or the fight phase when a Drukhari infantry, Drukhari vehicle, or Drukhari biker, excluding a Haemonculus Coven unit or a Urian Rakarth, is selected as the target of the attack. That could be quite handy for 1 command point. Save possibly a bunch of your guys depending on what's shooting at you. Subtract 1 from the attack's hit roll. That's quite handy. I'd definitely try and remember that. Hunt from the Shadows. 1 command point. Use the stratagem in your opponent's shooting phase when a Drukhari unit from your army that has the benefits of light cover is selected as the target of a ranged attack. Until the end of that phase, add an additional 1 to that unit's saving throws, excluding invulnerable saves. So that's great against something that does not have an unreasonable amount of armor penetration. Cool. Very specific though, has the benefits of light cover. There's a bunch of ways, not necessarily with cover, to have the benefits of light cover, so could become handy. Alliance of Agony for 1 command point. Use this stratagem before the battle when you are mustering your army if your warlord is a real space raider archon. Select 1 succubus from your army and 1 homunculus, excluding named characters, and determine 1 warlord trait for each of these models. This is probably one that, well, especially if you have a real space raid, this command point is probably worth your time to use. Each warlord trait in your army must be unique, and you cannot use this stratagem to give a model 2 warlord traits. You can only use this stratagem once. Cool. Handy, very handy. Tolerated Ambition. Use this for 1 command point. Use this stratagem before the battle when you are mustering your army if your warlord has the Drukhari keyword. Select 1 Drukhari character model from your army, excluding named characters, and determine 1 warlord trait for it. That model is only regarded as your warlord for the purposes of that warlord trait. Each warlord trait in your army must be unique, and you cannot use a stratagem to give a model 2 warlord traits. You can use this stratagem only once, unless you are playing a strike force battle, in which case you can use the stratagem twice, or an onslaught battle, in which case you can use this stratagem 3 times. Yeah. And probably also always use that one for 1 command point. Probably. Prizes from the Dark City. I guess that depends on the size of my army, really. But bigger armies definitely use it. Prizes from the Dark City, 1 command point. Use this stratagem before the battle when you're mustering your army if your warlord has the Drukhari keyword. Select 1 Drukhari character, give an artifact of cruelty. This must be an artifact, a relic they can't have. Each relic in your army must be unique, and you cannot use this stratagem to give a model 2 relics. You can only use this stratagem once, unless you're playing a strike force, in which case you can do it twice, or an onslaught, which you can do it 3 times. Okay. Webway Portal. 1 command point or 3 command points. Use this stratagem before the battle when declaring reserves and transports. If you are playing a mission without this step, use this stratagem during the deployment instead. If you spend 1 command point, you can set up 1 Drukhari infantry bike or beast from your army in the webway instead of placing it on the battlefield. If you spend 3 command points, you can place 2 instead. If in the reinforcement step of your movement phases, you can set up any units in the webway anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away from enemy models. You can only use this stratagem once. Okay. Pain Siphon. Use this stratagem when a Drukhari unit from your army that is within 6 inches of a friendly Chronos unit destroys an enemy unit with a melee or ranged attack. Until the end of the battle, that Drukhari unit always treats each battle round as if it is battle round 5. Cool. For the purposes of the power for pain ability for 1 command point. So, if your army within 6 inches of a friendly Chronos destroys an enemy within melee or range. Cool. That is a very nice bonus. I'd do it for 1 command point. Eviscerating Flyby. The worst kind of flyby. 1 command point or 2 command points. Use this stratagem in your movement phase when you select a Witch Cult unit that can fly to make a normal move or advance. After this unit has moved, select 1 enemy unit that this unit moved across and roll 1d6 for each model in this unit, adding 1 to the result if the enemy unit is an infantry unit. For each result of 5+, so infantry unit would be hit more often, that enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. If the selected Witch unit contains 5 or fewer models, this stratagem costs 1 command point, otherwise it costs 2 command points. Use this stratagem to fly. Cool. Roll 1d6, adding 1 to the result, 5 pluses. That enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. That could add up. For 1 or 2 command points seems good. Never stationary. 2 command points. Use the stratagem in your shooting phase after making attacks with a Drukhari unit, excluding aircraft, from your army. This unit immediately makes a normal move up to 7 inches. Until the end of the turn, that unit is not eligible to declare a charge. Seems good. I mean, I can surprise them by taking an objective or something. For 2 command points, so I'm not sure. But I mean, it's an option now. Prey on the weak. 1 command point. Use the stratagem in your shooting phase or the fight phase when a Drukhari core unit from your army is selected to shoot or fight. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in this unit makes an attack, if that attack targets a unit that was below its starting strength when this unit was selected to shoot or fight, you reroll a hit roll of 1. Okay. If that, use this stratagem in your shooting phase or the fight phase when a Drukhari selected to shoot or fight until the end of each it makes an attack. If that attack targets a unit that was below its starting strength when this unit was selected to shoot or fight, reroll a hit roll of 1. I'm gonna assume if it has lost any models, because strength is not in capitals. So they must mean it lost a model. Lost models. If that attack targets a unit that was below its starting strength when this unit was selected to shoot or fight, reroll a hit roll of 1. If that attack targets a unit that was below half strength when this unit was selected to shoot or fight, you can reroll the hit roll. Preying on the weak. Injured beast. Yeah, sense is sharpening. I'm assuming it means models lost in this case. Seems to me. Unit starting strength, I guess. Half strength. I guess it means models lost. Screaming Jets, 1 command point. Use this stratagem before the battle when declaring reserves and transports. If you are playing a mission without this step, use the stratagem during deployment instead. You can set up 1 Drukhari vehicle unit from your army in the skies instead of placing it on the battlefield. If in the reinforcement step, one of your movement phases, you can set this unit anywhere as more than 9 inches away from any animal models. You can use this stratagem once. Okay. Maybe. Deadly Rivals. 2 command points. Use the stratagem in your command phase. Select 1 Reavers unit from your army and 1 Hellions unit from your army that are within 12 inches and visible to each other. Until the end of the turn, add 1 to the movements characteristic of models in these units. Each time a model... Each time a model in these units make an attack with a melee weapon, you can reroll the hit roll. Ooh. Cool. Deadly Rivals. Spart for Prestige and Dominance. 1 Reavers unit and 1 Hellions within 12 inches and visible. Add 1 to the movements characteristic of models in the unit. Each time a model in these units make an attack with a melee weapon, you can reroll the hit roll. Seems good. I mean, I like rerolling hit rolls for 2 command points plus 1 to movement until the end of turn. Oh my goodness, there's more. Okay. Swift outflanking. 1 command point. Use the stratagem at the end of the movement phase. Select 1 Drukhari transport unit from your army that is wholly within 9 inches of any battlefield edge. Remove that unit from battlefield. Unit is placed in strategic reserve. Well, cool. Murderous Descent, 1 command point. Use a stratagem in the reinforcement step after a transport unit from your army is set up on the battlefield. Any units embarked upon that transport unit can disembark after a setup, but when they do so, they must set up more than 9 inches away from any enemy units. Okay. After a transport unit from your army is set up on the battlefield, any units embarked can disembark after it was set up, but it has to be more than 9 inches away. Cool. It's fine. Seems alright. Pray they don't take you alive. 1 command point. Use a stratagem in the fight phase when an enemy warlord unit is destroyed by a melee attack made by a Drukhari unit from your army. Until the end of the battle, each time a combat attrition test is taken for an enemy unit, subtract 1 from that combat attrition test. Okay. Sure. 1 command point, Enhanced Ether Sails. Use this stratagem in your movement phase when a Raider or Ravager unit from your army is selected to advance. Do not make an advance roll. Instead, until the end of the phase, add 8 inches to the move characteristic of this model. Add 8. Cool. Probably want to use that. I mean, I guess depending, but seems good to me. Crucible of Malediction, 2 command points. Use a stratagem in your psychic phase. Select 1 homunculus from your unit, from your army, and roll 1d6 for each enemy psyker within 12 inches of it. For each 4+, that psyker unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. You can only use a stratagem once. Well, that could be quite nasty. In your psychic phase, get someone within 12 inches. 4+ d3 mortal wounds. 2 command points for maybe d3 mortal wounds. Not sure. But hey, if you've got the command points, then why not? And if you're set up in the right place, then why not? Haywire Grenade, 1 command point. Use the stratagem in your shooting phase. Are you going to get someone to blow a grenade? When a Drukhari Haywire Grenade unit from your army is selected to shoot. Oh, never mind. Select 1 model in that unit. That model can only make 1 attack this phase and must target an enemy vehicle unit within 6 inches of it. But if a hit is scored, that vehicle unit suffers d3 mortal wounds and the attack sequence ends. Okay. 1 command point, d3 mortal wounds. On that, possibly. Sure. Hyper Stim Backlash for 2 command points. Use a stratagem in your command phase. Select 1 Witch Cult unit with the Combat Drugs ability from your army. Until your next command phase, each effect of the Combat Drugs ability on that unit is doubled. Okay. For example, if the unit is affected by Painbringer, add 2 to toughness instead of 1. A model with the Vile Bouquet Relic cannot be selected for the stratagem. Okay. Use the stratagem in your command phase to your next command phase. Each effect of the Combat Drugs ability on that unit is doubled. Okay. It could be worth it, for sure. And depending on where those witches are, could certainly be worth that. Shock Prow. 1 command point. Use the stratagem in the charge phase when a Drukhari Shock Prow unit from your army finishes a charge move. Select 1 enemy unit within engagement range of the unit. If the selected enemy unit is a vehicle, roll 1d6. On a 2+, that unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. Cool. And stratagem in your charge phase. 1 command point. 1 command point for d3 mortal wounds. It's a 2+ d3 mortal wounds, so it's quite likely for a vehicle. If the selected enemy unit is not a vehicle, roll 1d6. for each model in that unit that is within engagement range of the shock prow unit. For each dice result that equals or exceeds that unit's toughness characteristic, it suffers 1 mortal wound. And you roll 1d6 for each model. Toughness, 1 mortal wound. Cool. Seems definitely worth it to do it for 1 command point. Now, potent metallotoxins, 2 command points. Use the stratagem in your shooting phase or the fight phase when you select a Drukhari unit from your army to shoot or fight. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack is made with a poisoned weapon by that unit. That ability does not exclude vehicle units. Cool. Definitely something to consider there. For 2 command points, I'd be taking down a vehicle. No problem. And it's any Drukhari unit. Shooting or fighting. Cool. Worth it. Chapter approved rules. If every model in your army, excluding unaligned models, have the Drukhari keyword and your Warlord has the Drukhari keyword, you can, if you're playing a matched play battle that instructs you to select secondary objectives, select one of them from these guys instead. Like all other secondary objectives, each of the secondary objectives listed below has a category, and they follow all the normal rules for secondary objectives. For example, when you select secondary objectives, you cannot choose more than 1 from each category. You can score no more than 15 victory points from each secondary objective you select during the mission, etc. Okay, so Purge the Enemy has 2 options. We've got a progressive one. If you select this objective, you can score victory points at the end of the battle for each of the following that apply. Score 3 victory points if any character or monster units were destroyed by a melee attack made by a Drukhari unit from your army during that battle round. Hold on. You score victory points at the end of the battle for each of the following that apply. Score 3 victory points if any character during that battle round. Okay. Score 1 victory point if any unit, excluding character, monster, or vehicle units, were destroyed by a melee attack made by a Drukhari unit from your army during that battle round. If you select this objective, you score victory points at the end of the battle for each of the following that apply. I feel like that's a typo. During that battle round. Sounds to me like they mean to say battle round. If you select this objective, you score victory points at the end of the battle for each of the following that apply during that battle round. Yeah. It's fine. I'm just silly. So that's alright. Beast for the arenas. Score 3 victory points at the end of the battle for each enemy monster, cavalry, or beast unit that was destroyed by a melee attack by a witch cult unit from your army. If that enemy unit was titanic, score 5 victory points instead. Could be quite nice. Monster, cavalry, or beast really depends on who you're facing, I guess. Then no mercy, no respite, but of course you get to choose these. So you get to choose based on who you're facing, so no problem there. Fear and Terror, progressive. Score 1 victory point at the end of the battle round for each model that fled from any enemy unit during that battle round. Well, that would make what the abilities that hurt leadership and I'm losing the word. Combat attrition tests. That would be a purpose for all of those different abilities. So cool. And Battlefield Supremacy. Score 2 victory points at the end of your turn for each table quarter that does not have enemy units, excluding aircraft units wholly within it. This objective cannot be scored in the first battle round. 2 victory points for each table quarter at the end of your turn for each table quarter that does not have enemy units. Interesting. Not on the first battle round, but you could be pretty easily getting 2 to 4, and then more difficult would be getting more than 4 per battle round after the first. Huh. Maybe. Maybe. Alright. Warlord Traits. Oh. Name, character, and Warlord Traits. Name character, he has Hatred Eternal. Lethor is Hesperix, she has Blood Dancer, and Urine Rekarth has Diabolical Soothsayer. Okay. If a Drukhari character model is your warlord, you can use the Drukhari Warlord Traits opposite. Unless otherwise specified, Cabal models must use the Cabal Warlord Traits, Witch Cult models must use the Witch Cult Warlord Traits, and Haemonculus Coven models must use the Haemonculus Warlord Traits table. You can either roll d3 to randomly generate one, or you can select one. Okay, got it. Cabal Warlord Traits. 1. Hatred Eternal. Each time this warlord makes an attack, you can reroll the hit roll and the wound roll. That's super nasty. Super nasty. Soul Thirst. Add 1 to the attack characteristic of this warlord. Once per turn, when an enemy model that is within 6 inches of this warlord is destroyed, this model regains. And one enemy model. Once per turn, when an enemy model within 6 inches of this warlord is destroyed, this model regains 1 lost wound. That's also pretty nasty. Ancient Evil. At the start of the fight phase, you can select 1 enemy unit within engagement range of this warlord. That unit is not eligible to fight, and oh, that's also nasty. Oh boy. That is powerful. Always having the chance to kill the other individual before they do anything. At the start of the fight phase. So it's even on their turn and your turn. They have to wait. Powerful. Alright, Witch Cult Warlord Traits. Quicksilver Fighter. Add 2 to the attack's characteristic of this warlord. Nice. 2. Stim Addict. When determining the effects of the combat drug for this warlord before the battle, roll 2 additional dice, rerolling results of 6 or results that are already in effect. This warlord combat drug's ability has these benefits in addition to any others. Also good. That could be quite good. Yeah. You choose 1, and then you get 2 random more. Could be very handy. For sure. Precision Blows. Each time an unmodified hit roll of 6 is made for a melee attack made by this warlord, the target unit suffers a number of mortal wounds equal to the damage characteristic of the weapon used for the attack, and the attack sequence ends. Mortal wounds equals to the damage. It's much better than 1 mortal wound and the sequence ends. Cool. Unmodified hit roll of 6. Nice. Haemonculus Coven Warlord Traits. Master Regenicist. Each time this warlord uses their Fleshcraft ability, the target model regains up to 3 lost wounds instead of D3. Okay. So, if you don't want them to ever die, I guess, Master Nemesis. Each time this warlord makes an attack, add 1 to that attack's wound roll. Ah, fairly nice with poison weapons. Master Artisan. Add 1 to the toughness and wounds characteristic of this warlord. Okay. I'm not certain which ones I would choose. Nice options, though. Right. Relics. Oh. We've got pictures. Fancy. Cool. If your army is led by a Drukhari warlord, you can, when mustering your army, give 1 of the following artifacts of cruelty to a Drukhari character model in your army. Named characters cannot be given any of the following artifacts. When a model in your army is given an artifact of cruelty, replace all. Yes, that's fine. Note that some relics replace is just talking about replacing names. Not important, really. Note that some relics replace 1 of the model's existing items of war gear. Sure, where this is the case, you must, if you are using points values, still pay the cost of the war gear that is being replaced. Parasite's Kiss. Model with a splinter pistol only. It replaces the splinter pistol with a 12-inch range, pistol 3, 2 strength. Yep, it's a poison weapon. Poison weapon 2+, so perfectly fine. AP -2, 2 damage. Each time an enemy model is destroyed by an attack made with this weapon, the bearer regains 1 lost wound. Nasty. A nasty little relic. The Helm of Spite. In your opponent's psychic phase, the bearer can attempt to deny 1 psychic power as if it were a psyker. Cool. If that psychic power is successfully denied, the psyker attempting to manifest that power suffers perils of the warp. I'd say Helm of Spite. Ugh, nasty. Cool. The Nightmare Doll. Oh, joy. Haemonculus model only. Each time the bearer would lose a wound, roll 1d6. On a 4+, that wound is not lost. Nessie. The Jinn Blade model, equipped with a Husk Blade only, now has the Jinn Blade, which is a melee weapon, +1 to strength, AP -3, 3 damage each. Each time the bearer fights, it takes 2 additional attacks with this weapon. At the end of the fight phase, roll 1d6 if the bearer made any attacks with this weapon. On a 1, the bearer suffers 1 mortal wound. That's lost ways to regain wounds now, so just might do it anyway. The Animus Vitae. The Animus Vitae has the following profile. It's a 6-inch grenade, the bearer can only shoot this weapon once per battle. That means it's probably going to be super vicious. If it hits, the target unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. If the target unit has 11 or more models, it suffers D3 +3 mortal wounds instead. 4 to 6. Cool. Until the end of the turn, friendly units with the Power from Pain ability treat the current battle round as being 1 higher than it actually was. Okay. Until the end of turn. Nice. Very cool. The Triptych Whip. I think. Succubus model equipped with an Agonizer. Replaces the Agonizer. Melee weapon. User. Yep. Poison weapon of 2+. AP -3. 2 damage. Poison weapon +2. Yep. 2+. Each time the bearer is selected to fight, add 3 to their attack's characteristic until the end of the phase. That is super nasty. I guess add 3 is whoop whoop whoop. But cool. Super nasty. Like that. Crusade Rules. I am not going to go through the Crusade Rules. Nope. Okay, so the Archon stats have not changed. 8 inches, 2+ to weapon skill, 2+ ballistic skill, 3 strength, 3 toughness, 5 wounds, 5 attacks, leadership 9, and a 4+. I'm wrong. The Archon used to be 5+, now it is 4+. It starts off with a splinter pistol and a power sword, but you can switch over the splinter pistol to a blast pistol, and the power sword can go to a agonizer husk blade or a venom blade. And the splinter pistol is something that they used to have, but the pistol is now strength of 2, poison weapon 4+. He has the Blade Artist and power from Pain. He has his Overlord aura, which for Cabal, Core, or Incubi units within 6 inches of him, each time an attack is made by a model in that unit, you reroll ones. You reroll hit rolls of 1. And then he has his Shadow Field, which is the same as before. This model has a 2+ invuln save. This invuln save can never be rerolled the first time this invuln save is failed until the end of the battle. The ability has no effect. And he is aeldari Drukhari, Cabal infantry character Archon. Oh yes, and the Archon used to be 70 points, and now he is 65. Alright, Succubus. 60 points, same as before. Its stats are also the same as before. 8-inch movement, 2+ weapon skill, 2+ ballistic skill, 3 strength, 3 toughness, 5 wounds. Oh, extra attacks. 6 attacks. Leadership 8, 6+. Saving throw. She has she's normally equipped with an agonizer and an archite glaive, but you can switch her out for hydra gauntlets or razor flails or a shardnet and impaler, or the agonizer. She can keep the glaive, and the agonizer can be switched out with either a blast pistol or a splinter pistol. Her abilities include Blade Artist, Combat Drugs, and Power from Pain. She has the Brides of Death aura, which is while a friendly Witch Cult core unit is within 6 inches of this model, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, you reroll wound rolls of 1. She has her invuln save, which is Lightning Dodge, 4+ invuln save, and she has the ability for no escape each time an enemy unit, excluding Titanic units, that is within engagement range of this unit, or of this model, is selected to fall back, roll off with your opponent, subtracting 1 from your opponent's roll if this model is equipped with a shard, net, and impaler. If you win, that unit cannot fall back this turn. And she is aeldari Drukhari, whichever witch cult you choose, infantry, character, and succubus. Stick him with a bunch of Howlite Warriors or Incubi, stick her with a bunch of witches. Haemonculus. Alright. Haemonculus used to be 80 points. 80 points, okay, so the points cost is the same. And we are 7 inches, 2+ weapon skill, 2+ ballistic skill, 3 strength, 4 toughness, 6 wounds, so he's gone up in a wound, gone down in attacks because he's now 4 attacks, 8 leadership, 6+ saving throw. He's equipped with a stinger pistol, homunculus tools, ichor injector, and scissor hands, which is 2 things that he didn't used to have. Okay. So the stinger pistol, pistol 1, strength 2, poison weapon 2+. That really hasn't changed. Yeah, that hasn't really changed. The homunculus tools, strength of the user, 01. Okay, so the Haemonculus tools haven't changed. Now it also has Ichor Injector and Scissor Hands. Special melee. Each time the bear fights, no more than one attack can be made with this weapon. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, if a hit is scored, the target suffers 1 mortal wound and the attack sequence ends. Nice, easy mortal wounds. Cool. Each time the bear fights, no more than one attack can be made with this weapon. And if the hit is scored, yeah, that's why there was none of that, because you immediately do mortal wounds. And it's only one attack, but it's 2+, so it's probably going to hit, so you're probably going to do a mortal wound. Definitely, with the Haemonculus. Cool. Scissor Hands. Strength is 3, AP -2, 1 damage, poison weapon of 4+. Each time the bear fights, it makes 2 additional attacks with this weapon. Cool. Neat. So its abilities are Blade Artists, Insensible to Pain, and Power from Pain. Master of Pain Aura, which is while a friendly Haemonculus core unit is within 6 inches of any models with this ability, you add 1 to toughness characters models in that unit. Which is the same other than the fact that now it's core specifically. Fleshcraft. At the end of your movement, select 1 Haemonculus monster or Haemonculus Coven grotesques model from your unit that is within 3 inches of this model. The model you select regains D3 lost wounds. Each model can only be healed once per turn. Well, that seems new. So you can heal your guys. You heal your monsters or grotesques. Cool. And he is Eldari, Drukhari, whatever Haemonculus Coven you choose. Infantry character Haemonculus. What do we have? Lilith. 8 inches, 2+ weapon skill, 2+ ballistic skill, 3 strength, 3 toughness, 5 wounds, 7 attacks. She's a succubus, yes, or succubus suppose. Succubus 60 actually, and she's 90 points. 50% more points for 1 extra attack so far. 8 leadership, 6+ save. She has Lilith's blades. You can only include 1 Lilith Hesperex model. Oh yes, and she's named, so I can't give her artifacts. Blade Artist's Power from Pain. Oh yes, her blades. +1 to strength, which is 4 strength, AP -3, 1 damage. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, an unmodified hit roll of 6 scores 1 additional hit for it. At last, a challenge. Each time this model makes a melee attack that targets a character, you can reroll the hit roll and you can reroll the wound roll. That's quite nasty. Brides of Death, Cult of Strife core unit. Units within 6 inches of this can reroll wound rolls of 1. She is Cult of Strife in particular. Quicksilver Dodge. This model has a 4+ invuln save. Each time a melee is made against this model, subtract 1 from that attack's hit roll. That's quite nice too. Deadly Dance. Each time this model makes a consolidation move, it can move an additional 3 inches, and it does not have to finish this move to the closest enemy model. That can be quite nasty for picking out enemies or snagging an objective, I suppose, depending on who's there. Natural Perfection. In your command phase, select 1 of the following, either Thrilling Acrobats or Gory Spectacle. Thrilling Acrobats, until the end of the turn, this model is eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which it fell back or advanced. It's good. It's your command phase that you do it, so you have to think about what you're doing first and plan accordingly. Or Gory Spectacle. In the fight phase of this turn, if this model destroys any enemy models, Then at the end of the phase, it can fight again. Cool, and since it has that deadly dance, it could quite possibly easily move on to a new bunch of groups to fight. Neat. And no escape. Each time an enemy unit, excluding Titanic units, same as the Succubus, if it's within engagement range, the model is selected to fall back. You roll off with your opponent. If you win, that unit cannot fall back this turn. So, Blades of Death, Lightning Dodge, no escape. The Succubus does have the combat drugs. The Lightning Dodge, 4+ invuln, but you have Quicksilver Dodge, and even better, for 90 points. Yeah, I don't see why. Unless you don't want to go with Cult of Strife, of course. Alright, Drazar. Oh, Drazar, have you changed? Drazar was 135 points. Today, he is 135 points. Okay. So he's got a 7 movement, 2+ weapon skill, 2+ ballistic skill. All of these guys with only 2+. Nice. 4 strength, 4 toughness, 6 wounds, 5 attacks. He's got additional attack now. 9 leadership and 2+ save. He is holding the Executioner's Demiclaves. Before selecting target, select one of the profiles below to make attack which. A single blade is +2 to strength, so 6 strength, -3 AP, 3 damage each. Or dual blades, 5 strength, AP -3, 2 damage each, but you get an additional 2 attacks. Really would depend, I suppose. Blade Artist's Power of Pain, Murderous Assault. This model can be selected to fight 1 additional time in each fight phase. It must be eligible to fight to be selected. Yes, that's the same as it was before, just as nasty. Ancient Warrior. Each time an attack is allocated to this model, select 1 from the damage characteristic of that attack to a minimum of 1. Cool. What's a new ability then? Eternal Warrior. This model has a 4+ invuln save. It used to be a 5+ invuln save, now it's 4+ invuln save. Tormentors. At the start of the fight phase, select 1 enemy unit within engagement range of this model and roll 2d6. If the result is greater than the enemy's unit's leadership until the end of the phase, that unit is not eligible to fight until all eligible units from your army have done so. It's always nasty. Can't be underestimated. That is quite... This is Tormentor's ability, which has been completely changed. Used to deal with morale, and now it sends people back for fighting. Cool. I like it. It's better, I think. Masters of Blades Aura. While a friendly incubi unit is within 6 inches of this model, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, add 1 to the attack's wound roll. Cool, good. Makes it easy enough if you've got poison weapons. Missing the lethal precision. That's gone. Urian Recurse. Alright, Mr. Urian. Yeah, I don't have that access right now. So what I'm going to do is just read through. We've got a 7-inch movement, 2+ weapon skill, 2+ ballistic skill, 3 strength, 5 toughness, 6 wounds, 5 attacks, 8 leadership, 6+ save. You're equipped with a Casket of Flensing, Haemonculus tools, Ichor Ejector. You can only have 1 Urian Recurse in your model, in your army. Casket of Flensing is 12-inch Assault 2d6, 3 strength, -2 AP, 1 damage. The bearer can only shoot with this weapon once per battle. Okay. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, that attack automatically hits the target. Joy. Fantastic. Strength is 3, though. So, only worry about really fleshy dudes, which makes sense because it's Casket of Cleansing, I suppose. Ichor Injector. Each time the bearer fights, no more than one attack can be made with this weapon. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, if a hit is scored, the target suffers 1 mortal wound and the attack sequence ends, so that's fine. Now, he has Blade Artist, insensible to pain and power from playing. Hammer of Wars. At the start of the fight phase, roll 1d6 for each enemy unit within engagement range of this model. On a 6, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. That's quite nasty, yeah. Sustained by Dark Science. Once per battle, when this model is destroyed, you can choose to roll 1d6 at the end of the phase instead of using any rolls that are triggered when that model is destroyed. If you do on a 2+, set this model back up on the battlefield as close as possible to where they were destroyed and not within engagement range of any enemy models with D3 wounds remaining. Well, that is alright. Fleshcraft. Oh yes, earring card. How much do you cost? 100 points versus 80 points, so 20 points more for his special abilities. Fleshcraft. At the end of your movement phase, select 1 Prophets of Flesh monster or 1 Prophets of Flesh grotesques from your army that is within 3 inches. The model you selected regains D3 lost wounds. Each model can only be healed once per turn. So he's a Prophets of Flesh specifically character. Clone Field. This model has 4+ invuln save. Contempt for death. Each time an attack is allocated to this model, have the damage characteristic of that attack rounding up. Cool. Master of Pain. While friendly Prophet of Flesh core units are within 6 inches of any models with this ability, add 1 to the toughness characteristic of models in that unit. And Sculptor of Torments. While friendly Prophets of Flesh core units are within 6 inches of this model, add 1 to the strength and leadership characteristics of this model. So for 20 extra points, if you're using Prophets of Flesh, I see no reason not to get this fellow. Alright, Kabalite Warriors. From 4 to 19 Kabalite Warriors, and 1 is the Sybarite. 5 troops Kabalite Warriors. 5 to 20, 8 points per model, so that's the same. 7 movement, 3+ weapon skill, 3+ ballistic skill, 3 strength, 3 toughness, 1 wound each, 2 attacks, except for Sybarite has 3, that has increased. Used to be 1 attack and 2, now it's 2 attacks and 3. 7 leadership, 8 leadership. Saves are 4+ instead of 5+, so this is definitely an improvement without an increase in points either. Nice. If this unit contains 6 and 10 models, between 6 and 10 models, it has power rating 6. If this unit contains 11 and 15 models, it has power rating 9. If this unit contains 16 to 20 models, it's power rating 12. Each model is equipped with a splinter rifle, which is splinter rifle, 24-inch range, rapid fire 1, poison weapon 4+. Okay. Basically the same as what it once was. You can... The Sybarite can be equipped with one of the following: a power sword and an agonizer. The Sybarite can be equipped with a phantom grenade launcher. The Sybarite splinter rifle can be replaced with one of the following: 1 splinter pistol or 1 blast pistol. For every 10 models in this unit, 1 Kabalite splinter rifle can be replaced with one of the following: 1 dark lance or 1 splinter cannon. For every 5 models in this unit, 1 Kabalite splinter rifle can be replaced with one of the following: 1 blaster or 1 shredder. Well, lots of options. And they've got the Blade Artist and Power of Pain abilities. Kabalite Warriors. Oh, and if you weren't certain what you were looking at, They've got nice pictures to show you what, if you're building them and having trouble. There's the Dark Lance, there's the Splinter Rifle, the basic troop choice, there's the Splinter Cannon, and the Shredder. Cool. Witches, 10 points per model. Okay, so that's the same amount of points that they used to be. Now, they are 8-inch movement, 3+ weapon skill, 3+ ballistic skill, 3 strength, 3 toughness, 1 wound each, 3 attacks, and 4 attacks, which means that has increased. It used to be 3 and 2, and now it's 3 and 4. Why was it 3 and 2? Does that make sense? Oh, oops. I was looking at the wrong ones. Okay, it used to be 2 attacks and 3 attacks, and now it's 3 attacks and 4 attacks. Otherwise that part's the same. The Hecatrix being the special character. Every model is equipped with a Splinter Pistol, a Hecattari Blade, and Plasma Grenades. Okay, so the Hecattari Blade has an AP of -1 now. That is an improvement as well. 1 damage. Strength is the user, same as that was before. Each time the bearer fights, it makes 1 additional attack with this weapon. So that's great. It has an AP of -1. Lovely. The Plasma Grenade has an... that's not it. Plasma Grenades. Grenade, D6, 4 strength, AP -1, 1 damage, blast. That's the same. And Splinter Pistol is the same as before. Now, as we read before, the Hecatrix can be equipped with 1 Phantasm Grenade Launcher, which is 18 inches, Assault D3, Blast. Each time a unit is hit with this weapon, roll 2d6. If the result is higher than the leadership characteristic of that unit, it suffers 1 more wound. Nice. Okay, the Hecatrix Splinter Pistol can be replaced with a Blast Pistol. The Hecattari Blade can be replaced with one of the following: a Power Sword or an Agonizer. If the unit has 10 or more models, one which is Splinter Pistol and Hecattari Blade can be replaced with 1 Hydra Gauntlets. 1 Witches, Splinter Pistol and Hecattari Blade can be replaced with 1 Razor Flails. 1 Witch's Splinter Pistol and Hecattari Blade can be replaced with 1 Shardnet and Impaler. If the unit contains 20 models, 1 Witch's Splinter Pistol can also be replaced with... okay. Contains 10 or more models, you get 1 of each, and then if this contains 20 models, you get 1 more of each. Sure. Okay. Blade Artist, Combat, Drugs, and Power from Pain. Dodge. Models in this unit have a 6+ invuln save. Models in this unit have a 4+ invuln save against melee. Perfect. That's the same as it was before. No escape. Each time an enemy unit, excluding Titanics, that engagement range, fall back, roll off with your opponent, subtracting 1. If your unit is equipped with Shred and Impale, if you win, you cannot fall back. So same as the Succubus. It has the no escape rule. It is a core unit. Haywire Grenade, which is infantry. So, an improvement. They've been improved. Nice. Rax. 8 points per model. The Aquathist is the special name of the special guy. Now, Rax are 7-inch movement, 3+ weapon skill, 3+ ballistic skill, 3 strength, 4 toughness, 1 wound each. The attacks are the same, so 2 attacks for most Rax, 3 attacks for the Alchemist, The leadership is 7 or 8, and the saves are 6+, so that part is the same. If this unit contains, power rating just goes up. Every model is equipped with rack blades, which is different. Used to be equipped with Haemonculus tools. Now they're equipped with rack blades. Rack blades are very similar to Haemonculus tools. Poison weapon 4+, but they've got an AP of -1 instead of no AP. For every 5 models this unit contains, 1 rack can be equipped with one of the following: a liquefier gun or an ossifactor. Sounds horrifying. 12-inch range, assault d6, 4 strength, -2 AP, 1 damage. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, that attack automatically hits the target. Lovely. Strength 4. Or an ossifactor, 24-inch range, assault 1, 2 strength, must be a poison weapon. Yep, poison weapon, 2+ poison weapon. AP -3, 2 damage each. Cool. The Amethyst rack blades can be replaced with one of the following: an agonizer, an electro-corrosive whip, a flesh gauntlet, a mind phase gauntlet, a scissor hand, or a venom blade. The Amethyst can be equipped with one of the following: 1 hex rifle, 1 liquefier gun, or 1 stinger pistol. They are blade artists, insensible to pain, and power from pain. They are core. Haemonculus Coven core. Okay, Court of the Archon. You bring 1 to 4 Lamians, 1 to 4 Medusae, 1 to 4 Slith, and 1 to 4 Urgul as a singular unit. Court of the Archon cost. Interesting. The Lamian are 16 points per model, the Medusa are 22 points per model, the Slith is 18 points per model, and the Urgul is 16 points per model. You're up to 16 models in this court. The Lamian are movement 3+, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill, strength 3, 3 toughness, 3 wounds, 2 attacks, 8 leadership, 5+ save. The Medusa are the same except for only 1 attack instead of 2. The Slith have a strength of 5 instead, have 3 attacks, leadership lowers down to 6, and a 5+ save. The Urguls can't fire, have a strength of 4, have 3 toughness, 3 wounds, 4 attacks, a terrible leadership of 4, and a 7+ save. This unit must contain at least 4 models. Each Lamian is equipped with a Shemeshi blade. Every Medusa is equipped with Iverse. Wow. Every Slith is equipped with Shard Carbine, Stunter Pistols, or Slith Battle Blades, and every Urgul is equipped with Urgul Talons. Interesting. Instead of doing these all separately, you must do them together. Okay. Do you have to have an Archon, perhaps? Court of Archon. This unit can only be included in a detachment if that detachment also includes 1 or more Archon units. And you can only include a maximum of 1 Court of the Archon units for each Archon unit in that detachment. This unit does not take up slots in a detachment. And as I expected, yeah, they stick around the Archon. Good enough. While this unit contains any Slith models, while a friendly Archon unit is within 3 inches of this unit, enemy models cannot target that Archon unit with ranged attacks. Okay. The Iverst is a 12-inch pistol D6, 4 strength, AP -2, 1 damage, Each time an attack is made with this weapon, that attack automatically hits its target. D6 automatically hit targets. Nice. Shard Carbine, 18-inch, Assault 3, 2 strength, must be poisoned. Yep, poisoned 4+. 1 damage. Splinter Pistol, Shemeshi Blade. User Strength, no AP, 1 damage. Use a poisoned weapon each time an attack is made with this weapon if the target is not a vehicle unit. An unmodified wound roll of 6. Inflicts 1 mortal wound on the target in addition to any normal damage. Nice. Massless Battle Blade. It's just a strength 5. AP -2, 1 damage. And the talons are strength 4. AP -1, 1 damage. Blades. Artists for the Lamian models only, and everyone has power from pain. Resilient species. Each time a Slith or Urgol model in this unit would lose a wound, roll 1d6. On a 5+, that wound is not lost. Ferocious Charge. Each time this unit fights, if it made a charge move this turn, add 2 to the attack's characteristic of Urgol models in this unit. Absolutely nasty. Toxin Crafter. While a friendly Cabal Archon or Cavalite Trueborn unit is within 3 inches of this unit, if this unit contains any Lamian models, each time a model in that Archon or Cavalite Trueborn unit makes an attack with a poisoned weapon, an unmodified hit roll of 6 automatically wounds the target. Nice. Cool. Cool models. Very interesting. Brought them all together. Alright, the Incubis are 16 points per model. That's the same as it was. A 7 movement, 2+ weapon skill. That has improved. It used to be just the Clavix had a 2+ weapon skill. Now all the Incubi have 2+ weapon skill. That's quite the nice improvement. Ballistic skill 3+. Strength 3, toughness 3, wounds 1 and 2 for the Clavix, attacks 3 and 4 for the Clavix, leadership 8 and 9, and saving throws 3+. So that part is the same, but better weapon skill for everyone. Cool. Each model is equipped with a clave. If you're using a single blade, the strength is 5, AP -2, 2 damage. If you're using dual blades, the strength is 4, AP -2 and 2 damage, but you get 2 additional attacks each time the bearer fights. If this profile is selected, so either 5 attacks and 6 attacks, or 3 attacks and 4 attacks with a better strength and better AP, so depending. Oh wait, no, that's if you switch to Demon Claves. Oh, that's only for the Clavix. Does he get the Demi-Clave? Everyone else just has the Clave, which is still good at... is still actually the exact same as the single blade Demi-Clave, but Clavix can get up to 6 attacks instead. Okay, sure. That didn't used to be an option, so that's new. Blade Artist and Power of Pain. Lethal Precision. Well, this unit contains a Clavix. Each time a melee attack is made by a model in this unit, an unmodified wound roll of 6 adds 1 to the damage characteristic of that attack. That's nasty. It used to be adds 2. Now it's adds 1. But the Claves themselves are 2 damage, and they used to be 1 damage. So, all around, that's perfectly fine. Yeah. Means the Clavix, I guess, would be not quite as important as it used to be. Though I don't see any reason why you wouldn't choose the Clavix last. At the start, to remove last, I mean, Tormentors. At the start of the fight phase, you can select one enemy unit within engagement range of this unit and roll a 2d6. If the result is greater than the enemy unit's leadership characteristic, that unit is not eligible to fight in the fight phase until all of the eligible units from your army have done so, which is fantastic. That makes Incubi so nasty. So nasty. And the Tormentors things just used to be a morale thing. This seems much more powerful. Last to fight is quite nasty. Gives you a lot of control too. Cool. They are infantry, core, blades for hire, and incubi. Mandrakes. 15 points per model, 5 to 10 models. 15 points per model, that is the same that it used to be. Okay, so Mandrakes. 8-inch movement, 3+ weapon skill, 3+ ballistic skill, 4 strength, 3 toughness, 1 wound each, 3 attacks or 4 attacks, 7 or 8 leadership, 7+ save. So that part's the same. Every model is equipped with a Bale Blast or a Glimmer Steel Blade. The Bale Blast, this part has not changed. 18-inch, Assault 2, 4 attacks, AP -1, 1 damage. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, an unmodified wound roll of 6 inflicts 1 mortal wound in addition on the target in addition to any normal damage. So the Bale Blast hasn't changed. And the Glimmer Blade Steel is also the same, with a strength based on the user, AP -1 and 1 damage each. Blade, Artists, and Power of Pain abilities from Out of the Shadows. During deployment, when you set up this unit, it can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away from the enemy deployment zone and any enemy models. During deployment. It can be set, so that's a bit different. It used to be at the end of any of your movement phases, it can be set up, but now it's just during deployment. When you set up, it can be set up anywhere on the battlefield, yeah. From the enemy, 9 inches away from the enemy deployment zone and any enemy models. That is much different. That would be a reduction in ability. Yep. Okay, Shrouded from Sight. Each time an attack targets this unit, subtract 1 from the attack's hit roll. Okay. And Shadow Creatures, which is the second half of the previous Shrouded from Sight. Models in this unit have a 5+ invuln save. So just separated that into 2 abilities for some reason. And Fade Away. Once per battle at the start of your movement phase. Oh, never mind. Here we go. I guess they made it both. You could either set it up right away here, or once per battle at the start of your movement phase, you can remove this unit from the battlefield, and then in the reinforcement step of your next movement phase, you can set this unit back up anywhere on the battlefield and more than 9 inches from any enemy models. If the battle ends and this unit is not on the battlefield, it is destroyed. Okay, so I didn't separate it, just separated the rules for some reason. These guys are infantry, blades for hire, and mandrakes. Now, grotesques. 40 points per model. Liquefier gun is +5 points. 3 to 6 models. Okay, so that is the same. They were 40 points. They are still 40 points. Let's see. 7 movement. All these fast dudes. 7-inch movement, 3+ weapon skill, 6+ ballistic skill, 5 strength, 5 toughness, 4 wounds, 4 attacks, 8 leadership, 6+ save. That has not changed. Every model is equipped with a monstrous cleaver and a flesh gauntlet, which the flesh gauntlet has a +1 strength, so that's better than it once was. 1 damage, no AP. Each time an attack is made with the weapon, If the target is not a vehicle, an unmodified wound roll of 6 inflicts 1 mortal wound in addition to the other damage. Okay, so the Flesh Gauntlet is basically the same except for extra strength. That's good. Monstrous Cleaver. Strength is the user. The AP is -2, but is now 2 damage instead of 1. Each time the bearer fights, it makes 1 additional attack with this weapon. Cool. That's good. And then it says any number of models can have their Monstrous Cleaver replaced with a Liquefier Gun, which is a 12-inch Assault D6, Strength 4, AP -2, 1 damage each time an attack is made with this weapon. The attack automatically hits the target. So they now have options for 12-inch range. They are Blade Artists, they are insensible to pain, and they have power from pain. They are infantry, core, and grotesque. Alright, the Beastmaster. 40 points, same points as it used to be. Okay, so you have a movement of 12, 3+ weapon skill, 3+ ballistic skill, 3 strength, toughness has increased to 4, 3 wounds, 3 attacks, 7 leadership, 5+ save. Everything else is the same. It is equipped with splinter pods and an agonizer. The splinter pods are 18-inch assault 2, strength, that must be a poison weapon. Yep, poison weapon, 4+. AP 0, 1 damage. So that's the same as it used to be, basically. And this one is also a poison weapon. AP -3 though, from used to be AP -1, now it's AP -2, now it's AP -3. Nice. Blade Artist Combat Drugs, power from pain. Beastmaster Aura. While a friendly Drukhari beast unit is within 6 inches of this model, each time a model is in that unit makes an attack, it can reroll hit rolls of 1. And models in that unit can use this model's leadership characteristic instead of their own. That's okay. Yep, that was the same. Whips of the Master. In your command phase, you can select 1 Drukhari beast unit from your army that is within 6 inches of this model. That beast unit is eligible to declare a charge this turn, even if it has advanced. Good. That's a new bonus. And then Creature Handler. If your army is battle forged, then if an attachment includes any Drukhari beast units, 1 Beastmaster unit can be included in that detachment without taking up a battlefield slot. Cool. So you got a little extra ability, so this guy has gone up in value. And he is infantry character, Skyboard, Fly, and Beastmaster. And he's part of the Witch Cult. Now, Clawed Fiends. Clawed Fiends, 25 points per model. Okay, so same as it used to be, 25 points per model, up to 6. They are a 10-inch movement, 4+ weapon skill, no ballistic skill, 5 strength, 5 toughness, 4 wounds, 5 attacks, 4 leadership, 5+ save. Same as before. Every model is equipped with Clawed Fists, and the Clawed Fists have increased in their AP from -1 to -2, so they have improved. Beasts of the Arena. This unit can only be included in a detachment if that detachment also includes 1 or more Drukhari Beastmaster units. And you can only include a maximum of 3 Drukhari Beast units for each Drukhari Beastmaster in that detachment. And Berserker Rage. While a model from this unit has lost any wounds, models in this unit have an attack characteristic of 6. Okay. Any wounds. It used to be increase the Clawed Fiend's attacks characteristic by 1 whilst it has 3 or fewer wounds, but now it's everyone. Everyone has a +1 to attack. Nice. So, Clawed Fiends. We've gotten better. Cool. Razorwing Flock. I wonder, have you improved at all, Razorwing Flock? 12 points per model, 3 to 9 of them. So 12 points per model is the same as it used to be. And we've got 12-inch movement, 4+ weapon skill, no ballistic skill, 2 strength, 2 toughness, 4 wounds each, 4 attacks each, 4 leadership, 7+ save. Okay. They are equipped with razor feathers, and the razor feathers have not changed. Their strength is 2. They've got AP -1, and they've got 1 damage. Beasts of the Arena. This unit can only be included if there's also a Drukhari Beastmaster, and you can have a maximum of 3 Drukhari Beast units. Beast, a swarm. It flies, blaze for hire, Razorwing Flocks. I can see why this model doesn't see a lot of play. 2 strength. That's not. On the other hand, if you had a group of 9 with 4 attacks each, 36 attacks, one of them would go through, right? It's rough. Alright, Commorragh. 10 points per model. 2 to 6 of them. Okay, that's the same. Yeah, 10 points is the same. Alright, so 10-inch movement, 3+ weapon skill. Ballistic skill is nothing. 4 strength, 4 toughness, 1 wound each, 3 attacks, 4 leadership, 6+ save. That part's the same. They have claws and talons. Their claws and talons are strength +1, that's an improvement. AP -1, that's an improvement. 1 damage, so they have improved. Nice. Beasts of the Arena and Otherworldly, they have a 5+ invuln. So they've improved from what they were. Okay. Reavers. Reavers. 10 points per model. Yeah, they're half of what they used to cost. Cool. Used to be 20 points per model. Now it's 10 points. Neat. They have an 18-inch range, 3+ weapon skill, 3+ ballistic skill, 3 strength, 4 toughness, 2 wounds each. Their attacks have gone up. So attacks have gone up by 1, 3 and 4, 7 and 8 leadership, and 4+ save. They are equipped with a splinter pistol, a splinter rifle, and blade veins. Same as they used to be. The splinter pistols, splinter rifle is rapid, so the pistol is pistol 1 at 12 inches, and the splinter rifle is 24 inches at rapid fire 1. And they're poison 4+ weapons. The blade veins are 4 strength, which is the same, AP -1, 1 damage, so yeah, same as it was. Now, other war gear. Cluster caltrops. Each time an enemy within engagement range of the bearer falls back, roll a d6 on a 4+ unit suffers 1 mortal wound. Nice. And a grav talon. After the bearer makes a charge move, select 1 enemy unit within engagement range of them and roll a d6. On a 4+, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. On a 6, that unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. Well, that's nice. I don't think the grav talons cost anything to add, did they? They did. +5 points. After the bearer, select 1. Yeah, I'd probably do it for +5 points, I guess. Mortal wound, possibly d3 mortal wounds for +5 points. Maybe, if I had enough space, I would for sure do that. Let's see. War gear options. The Arena Champion can be equipped with a Power Sword or Agonizer. Or Agonizer. Every 3 models in the unit can have their Splinter Rifle replaced with a Blaster or Heat Lance. Every 3 models in the unit can have 1 model equipped with one of the following: a Grav Talon or a Cluster Caltrops, or every 3 models. Matchless Swiftness. Each time this unit advances, do not make an advance roll. Instead, until the end of the phase, add 8 to the move characteristic of models in this unit, same as before. Yeah, so they have just halved in points and increased in attack. Yeah, cool. They are Biker, Flyer, Core, and Reavers. Wow. Hellions. 17 points per model. Okay. They were also 17 points per model, so that's no change. What do we got? 14 movement, 3+ weapon skill, 3+ ballisty skill, 3 strength. Toughness has increased to 4. The wounds are now 2 each. That's nice. The attacks have increased by 1 as well. 3 and 4. And leadership is 7 and 8, and they've got 5+ save. So improvement with no increase in point cost. Nice. Every model is equipped with splinter pods and a hellglaive. The splinter pods are the same as they once were. Assault 2, yeah. Poison 4+. They lost their little special vehicle ability. And the hellglaive is +1 to strength, AP -1 now, and 2 damage, so the AP has gone up. The Heliarch can be equipped with a Phantasm Grenade Launcher. The Heliarch's Hellglaive can be replaced with one of the following: 1 Splinter Pistol and 1 Stun Claw, 1 Splinter Pistol and 1 Power Sword, or 1 Splinter Pistol and an Agonizer. They are Blade Artist, Combat Drugs, Power from Plane, and they hit and run. This unit is eligible to declare a charge in the same turn it fell back. That part is the same. Infantry, Skyboard, Fly, Core, Hellions. So cool. Improved Scourges. What's happened with the Scourges? 12 points per module, 5 to 10 of them. Alright, they were 12 points per model, so that is the same. Now, they have a 14-inch movement, 3+ weapon skill, 3+ ballistic skill, 3 strength, 3 toughness, 1 wound each. They have increased into 2 attacks or 3 attacks, so that is an improvement. 7 to 8 leadership, 4+ save. If this contains 6 or more models, the power rating is 8. Every model is equipped with a Shard Carbine and Plasma Grenades. The Shard Carbine is 18 inches, Assault 3, basically Poison 4+ weapon, 2 strength, 0 AP, 1 damage. That is the same as it was before. Basically, Plasma Grenades, I assume, have not changed. No. Just regular old Plasma Grenades. Up to 4 Scourges can have their Shard Carbine replaced with one of the following: a Blaster, a Dark Lance, a Drukhari Haywire Blaster, a 1 Heat Lance, a Shredder, or a Splinter Cannon. The Solarite's Shard Carbine can be replaced with one of the following: a Splinter Pistol or a Blast Pistol. The Solarite can be equipped with one of the following: an Agonizer, a Power Lance, or a Venom Blade. Blade Artists and Power of Pain abilities. They have a Ghost Plate Armor, which gives them a 5+ invuln. It used to be 6+, now it is a 5+ invuln. Cool. And Winged Strike. During deployment, you can set up this unit high in the skies instead of setting it up on the battlefield. If you do so, then in the reinforcement step of your movement phase, you can set up this unit anywhere on the battlefield more than 9 inches away from enemy models. So that is the same. They are Infantry, Fly, Haywire Grenade, Core, Blaze for Hire, and their Scourges. Alright, Talos, let's have a look at you. 110 points, with Talos Scatlet being +5 point, Twin Liquefier Gun being +15 points. You can have 1 to 3 of them. 110 is the same as it was before. Okay, Talos, 8-inch movement, 3+ ballistic skill, 4+ weapon skill, 6 strength, 6 toughness, 7 wounds, 5 attacks, 8 leadership, 3+ save. That is the same as it once was. Equipped with 2 splinter cannons, and 2 macro scalpels. Did it have? Yeah, it did have 2. Yeah, okay. So that's the same equipment. The splinter cannon is a 36-inch heavy 3. Used to be rapid fire 3. Now it's heavy 3. Poisoned weapon of 4+ with a strength of 3, AP -1, 2 damage. So it has more of a punch. But it's not rapid fire anymore. It's heavy. Alright, and the macro scalpel has +1 to strength, AP -2, 2 damage. Each time the bearer fights, if it's equipped with 2 macro scalpels, it makes 1 additional attack with this weapon. So that hasn't changed. Those are the same. Any number of models can each have one of their macro scalpel replaced with one of the following: 1 Talos Ichor Injector, or 1 Twin Liquefier Gun. Any number of models can have one of their macro scalpel replaced with one of the following: 1 Chain Flails, or 1 Talos Gauntlet. Any number of models can have their 2 Splinter Cannons replaced with one of the following: 2 Drukhari Haywire Blasters, 2 Heat Lances, or a Stinger Pod. And Blade Artists insensible to pain, power from plane, they can explode. Okay. Each time a model in this unit is destroyed, roll d6 before moving from play. On a 6, it explodes, and each unit within 3 inches suffers 1 mortal wound. It used to be within 6 inches, now it's within 3 inches. It is a monster. It is core, it is fly, and it is Talos. So... hold on. Oh yeah, insensible to pain, that's fine. It's basically the same. Yep. But the splinter cannon has turned into a heavy. Okay. Chronos. 70 points per model. Spirit Probe is 5 points. Spirit Vortex is 10 points. Chronos. It used to be 70 points, so that has not changed. 8 movement, 4+ weapon skill, 3+ ballistic skill, 5 strength, 6 toughness, 7 wounds, 4 attacks, that's an additional attack from last time, 9 leadership, 3+ saving throw. Cool. Every model is equipped with a spirit siphon and the most horrifying tentacles you've ever experienced, aka called Spirit Leech Tentacles. Alright. Spirit Siphon. 12-inch range. That is an increase of 4 inches. Assault D6. 5 strength. Also increase in strength. AP -2. 1 damage. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, that attack automatically hits the target. Each time an attack is made with this weapon on a unmodified wound roll of 6, the attack characteristic, the damage characteristic is 2, which is a bit different, and it automatically hits the target. I'm not looking at the right thing. This weapon automatically hits the target already. Okay, so it's basically the same. That part of it was basically the same, except for the damage characteristic is a stat 2 instead of becoming D3. I'm good with that, yeah. The change is that it's now strength 5, and it has a additional 4 inches on it. Nasty. A Spirit Vortex is a possible item which you could change it. Any numbers can be equipped with 1 Spirit Vortex. Any numbers of models can be equipped with 1 Spirit Probe. Well, you don't have to replace it, you just add it on. Cool, so the Spirit Vortex has an 18-inch, assault d6, 5 strength, AP -2, 1 damage, blast. It's like the Spirit Siphon, but it's a blast. Yeah, it doesn't automatically hit, it just is a blast. Otherwise, its unmodified wound rolls of 6 also increase the damage to 2. Spirit Leech Tentacles, melee. User AP minus, user strength, AP minus 1 damage. Each attack is made, unmodified wound rolls of 6 increase the damage up to 2. That's basically the same as what it was. Instead of D3 is 2. Spirit Probe. The bearer gains the following ability: an aura. While a friendly Drukhari core or Drukhari character unit is within 6 inches, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, you can reroll a wound roll of 1. Wow, and with poison weapons, that's quite nasty. Cool. Blade Artist, insensible to pain. Power from pain. Explodes. Same as before. It used to be a 6-inch range on a mortal wound, but now it's a 3-inch range if you get a 6 on it, it's exploding. And Reservoir of Pain. Each time a model in this unit destroys an enemy model with its Spirit Leech Tentacles, you can select this unit or one other Drukhari core unit within 6 inches of this unit. After this unit has fought, one model in the selected unit regains 1 lost wound. If no models that have lost wounds, but the unit is not at its starting strength, you can instead return 1 destroyed model to that unit with 1 wound remaining. Well, this model can be set up in engagement range of an enemy. This model can be set up in engagement range of an enemy unit that is already in engagement range, so that's cool. Reservoir of Pain. So Cronus has gotten better. Yeah. Cool. Ravager. Ravager, 140 points, same as it did before. Well, base 140 points. Okay. Let's have a look. See. Its movement is 6 plus wounds remaining, 3 to 5 wounds remaining, or 1 to 2 wounds remaining. Its movement goes from 14 inches to 10 to 6. That's the same. 4 plus weapon skill. Ballistic skill is 3 to 4 to 5, which is the same. 6 strength, 6 toughness. Wounds begins at 11, so it's gotten an extra wound now for no additional points. It's 3 or D3 to 1 attacks, that's the same. Leadership is 7, and it has a 4 plus save. Okay, and it is equipped with 3 Dark Lances and Blade Veins. The Dark Lances are a 36-inch heavy 1, AP minus 4, D3 plus 3 is better than D6, so it's D3 plus 3, that's 4 to 6 damage instead of 1 to 6 damage for each Dark Lance. Nice. That's nice improvement. And the Blade Veins are a strength plus 1. Okay, so Blade Veins are now basically 7 strength instead of 4 strength. AP minus 1 and 1 damage, so that's an improvement. And you can other war gear, you add 3 to the pair's attacks characteristic. That's nasty. Grisly Trophies. The bearer gains the following ability: while an enemy unit is within 3 inches of this model, subtract 2 from the leadership characteristics of the models in the unit. Nice. And Shock Prow. The bearer has the Shock Prow keyword. Okay. This model's Dark Lances can each be replaced with 1 Disintegrator Cannon. And the Disintegrator Cannon is a 36-inch heavy 3, 5 strength, AP minus 3, 2 damage each weapon. Yeah, I'd stick with the Dark Lances, personally. This model can be equipped with any of the following: 1 chain snares, 1 grisly trophies, 1 phantasm grenade launcher, and 1 shock pro. And the phantasm grenade launcher is 18 inches, assault D3, blast. Each time a unit is hit by this weapon, roll 2d6. If the result is higher than the leadership characteristic, it suffers a 1 mortal wound. Blade Artists and Power from Plane. It has a 5+ invuln save against ranged weapons. Its Night Shield ability, that is the same. It is hovering. Distances are always measured to and from this model's hull. Yep. Explodes. On a 6, each unit within 6 inches suffers. Okay, so that's the same. Suffers D3 mortal wounds. And yeah, so improved. Vehicle Fly Ranger. Nice. Now, the Raider, on the other hand. 85 points. Same as before. Alright, so we've got 14-inch movement to 10 to 6. That's the same. Weapon skill 4+. Ballistic skill is 3+ to 4+ to 5+. That's the same. Strength is 6. Toughness is now 6. Use 3, 5. Now 6. Cool. Wounds are 10. That's the same. The attacks are 3 to D3 to 1. That is the same. Strength is 7. 4+ to save. It is equipped with 1 Dark Lance and a Blade Veins. So we already went ahead with the changes on that. Yeah. So an improvement there, for sure. And we already talked about the chain snares. This model's Dark Lance can be replaced with 1 Disintegrator Cannon. This model can be equipped with 1 chain snares, Grisly Trophy, a Phantasm Grenade Launcher, a Shock Pro, and Splinter Racks. Splinter Racks. Each time a model embarked on this transport makes an attack with a rapid-fire weapon, treat the target as being within half that weapon's range. Cool. Open-topped. In your shooting phase, units embarked within this transport can be selected to shoot with. Measure distance and draw a line of sight from any point on this transport to do so. If the transport made a normal move advance or fell back, embarked units are considered to have done the same. While this transport is within engagement range of any enemy units, embarked units cannot shoot except with pistols. Alright. Open top, normal. Hovering, Night Shield, and explodes. This model has a transport capacity of 11 infantry, which it used to be 10, and now it's 11. Each grotesque takes up the space of 2 models. This model cannot transport scourges or skyboard models. It is a vehicle, transport, fly, and a raider. Cool. I think overall, better. For sure. Now, the Venom. Venom is 65 points. And the Venom used to be 75 points. So it's gone down by 10 points. Cool. The movement is 16 inches. Weapon skill 4+, ballistic skill 3+, 5 strength, 5 toughness, 6 wounds, 3 attacks each now. Used to be 2, now it's 3. 7 leadership, 4+ save. You are equipped with a splinter cannon, twin splinter rifle, and blade veins. Okay? The splinter cannon is a heavy 3, right? It switched from a rapid fire to a heavy. Poison weapon 4, and it has a 3 strength, AP -1, 2 damage instead of 1. The twin splinter rifle is the same as it once was. 24-inch, rapid fire 2, 2 strength, but it's a power poisoned weapon of 4+, 0 AP, 1 damage, and the blade veins are changed as I mentioned previously, as a strength of +1 instead of a strength of 4. Big difference, strength of 6 instead of strength of 4. Chain snares, grizzly trophies. This twin splinter rifle can be replaced with a splinter cannon. Oh, you can have 2 splinter cannons. Cool. This model can be equipped with chain snares and grizzly trophies. It is open-topped. It has a flicker shield. Each time a ranged attack is made against this model, subtract 1 from hit rolls to the attack's roll, and this is a 5+ invuln save, so they're just turning the flicker field into a flicker field plus night shield. Reducing the abilities that you have to read, I suppose. Hovering and explodes, and it's 6-inch on the explosion. Okay, you can transport 6 Drukhari infantry models. So it used to be 5, and now it is 6. You cannot transport grotesque scourges or skyboard models, so the venom has improved as well. Nice. It is either Haemonculus Coven or Cabal or Wych Cult. Oh, so it's the Raider. Or. Well, yeah. Vehicle, transport, fly, and a venom. Alright, Razor Wing Jetfighter. Are we down to the last 3 now? Yeah, we're down to the last 2. Razor Wing Jetfighter. 160 points, so it's gone down by 10 points. Alright. 20 to 72, 20 to 48, 20 to 32, that's the same. Weapon skill 6+, ballistic skill is 3 to 4 to 5, that's the same. Strength 6, toughness 6, 10 wounds, 3 attacks to D3 to 1, 7 leadership, 4+ saves. All that part is the same. And it is equipped with 2 dark lances, a razor wing missiles, and a twin splinter rifle. Okay. This model's dark lances can be replaced with disintegrator cannons. And the model's twin splinter rifle can be replaced with a splinter cannon. Disintegrator cannon. Basically exact same, except for instead of an assault, it's a heavy. Alright. The Razor Wing missiles could be the Mycosynth missile, or the Necrotoxin missile, or the Shatterfield missile. All the same, except for the Shatterfield missile used to be, it used to be AP -1, now it's AP -2, but you can't reroll failed wound rolls. And the Twin Splinter Rifle, it's the same. Okay. Power from Pain ability, it is supersonic. It has the Night Shield 5+ invuln, 2 ranged attacks. It is hard to hit, and it is airborne and explodes. It is a vehicle, fly, aircraft, razor wing, jet fighter. So just the weapons having gotten better is the biggest change, I guess. Otherwise, it is the same. Void Ray. Oh, right, and it's 6 less points, or 10 less points. So cool, 10 less points. Now, the Void Raven Bomber used to be 185. It is still 185. Okay. So range is 20 to 60 movement, 20 to 40 movement, 20 to 25 movement. That's the same. The weapon skill is 6+. The ballistic skill is 3 to 4 to 5. That's the same. Strength 6, toughness 6, 12 wounds, 3 attacks to D3 attacks to 1 attack. Leadership 7, 4+ save. It has 2 void lances and a void mine. The void lance is 36 inches. Our heavy one used to be assault, it's now heavy. Strength 9, AP -4, D3 +3. So that's an improvement. It's 4 to 6 damage instead of 1 to 6 damage. Void mine. Once per battle in your movement phase, after the bear makes a normal move or advances, you can select 1 point on the battlefield that the bear moved across, roll 1d6 for each unit within 6 inches of that point, subtracting 1 if that unit has the character keyword excluding vehicle or monster units. On a 4+, that unit suffers d6 mortal wounds. This model's 2 Void Lances can be replaced with 2 Dark Scythes. This model can be equipped with Void Raven missiles. The Void Raven missiles are either the Implosion missile or the Shatter Field missile, and the Implosion missile is Assault D3, 6 strength, AP -3, 2 damage. It used to be 1 damage each, now it's 2 damage, so that's an improvement. Shatter Field missile is 48 inches, Assault D6, 7 strength, AP -2, 1 damage, so the AP -2 went up from AP -1. So again, a increase in ability. Now the Void Mine is a bit different than it once was, in that it used to target vehicles or monsters, but it doesn't seem to do that at all anymore. Roll 1d6 for each unit within 6 inches of that point, subtracting 1 if the unit has a character keyword, excluding vehicle or monsters. On a 4+, that unit suffers d6 mortal wounds. So the Void Mine is different, but it deals a lot of mortal wounds. Alright, it is Power from Pain. It is supersonic. It has the 5+ invuln save against ranged attacks. It is hard to hit, is airborne, and explodes. And it has a vehicle. It is Cabal or Witch Cult, like that one was Cabal or Witch Cult. And it's vehicle, fly, aircraft, Void Raven bomber. And that is it. I very much like how this is nice and easily laid out, so that you can build your army easy peasy from just these 2 pages alone, instead of perhaps using an app. This makes it easy to do it on the fly, I think. And then if you want to learn more, the weapon profiles are all right there. Cool. And whew, that is it. If you had any comments, leave them below. What do you think? Oh yes, and these are my Drukhari nails. In case you like how they were done, I painted it with black first. Just this black because it's easy to use. I grabbed Kabalite green, mixed it in with the black, and started painting over it, focusing more on the top as I went, and then with Elemental Bolt, I just highlighted the top part with an edge highlighting. And that made my Drukhari Raider nails. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you are going to be playing in the comments below if you're joining in on the Drukhari crowd. And I will catch you in the next video. Bye!